Steelers Nation, what is up? How are you guys doing on this Sunday night? We are here live on YouTube, and we're going to be discussing the news that broke this morning of Teryl Austin, our secondary coach, who will soon to be promoted to be our new defensive coordinator.
Which has, it's to no one's surprise. It has been rumored for weeks now. Pretty much months, as a matter of fact, since the retirement of Keith Butler was inevitable.
As a matter of fact, it was actually rumored since last offseason.
Right.
As Butler was originally going to retire, but Tomlin decided to bring him back, and now we are here, and Austin appears to be the new DC.
As it was confirmed this morning from Jerry Dulac. And we'll get into that, as well as some other news that broke out for the Steelers this week, such as them interviewing 3 potential candidates for the next GM spot, with Kevin Colbert retiring shortly after the draft. And, of course, Chris Morgan, who was our assistant O-line coach, who became our primary O-line coach for the last few weeks of last season. He was just signed as the Bears' offensive line coach.
So now we have nobody to
fill in for O-line coach.
Basically, thank you.
So who could be our O-line coach?
We'll discuss that when we get to the news. As well as the Steelers, heavily interested in some of the quarterbacks that played in the Senior Bowl.
Which, obviously, they would. Quarterback's going to be one of those positions the Steelers might fill this offseason. And, of course, they're going to be very interested at guys at the Senior Bowl, throughout the Combine, Pro Day still to come. There's a few names, though, that have gone around, circulating around, who could be the next guy for the Pittsburgh Steelers. One guy in particular. But could he be there at 20 with the week he's had?
I don't know.
Who knows, man? But what is going on, Steelers Nation? What's up, guys, in the chat? Jack Lambert says, well, that a surprise. Gets a promotion and more money to do the same thing he did last year. Yeah, I mean, Austin was the senior defensive assistant / secondary coach. So, of course, he's going to be promoted to defensive coordinator because he himself is an experienced defensive coordinator around the league. He had early success with the Lions in 2014 when they were the number 2 ranked defense. And unfortunately, year after year, the numbers declined for the defensive rankings under Teryl Austin to the point he eventually got fired by the Bengals after he allowed 3 straight 500-yard games under the Bengals defense, which ultimately, because of that, he got fired.
Now, so his resume recently isn't too keen.
Now, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He had nobody to work with. Absolutely nobody.
And we're talking about the Detroit Lions and the Cincinnati Bengals, which at the time were 2 of the worst teams in the NFL. They were absolutely horrible. The Lions still are, and the Bengals, well, next Sunday, I mean, for God's sake.
Let's not talk about that.
No, let's not talk about that.
Yeah, they could very well hoist up that Lombardi.
Don't
and
say that, please.
and just a week and a little few hours to go. What the hell?
Fingers crossed, no.
Fingers crossed, no. But yes, Teryl Austin is going to be the next defense coordinator for the Pittsburgh Steelers. And if you guys saw our video we did of who's or what's next for the defensive coordinator spot for the Steelers after Butler did indeed officially announce his retirement. Obviously, the Steelers interviewed guys such as Chris Richards, I believe, of course, Patrick Graham, who was the Giants defensive coordinator. He ultimately was hired as, was it
the Las Vegas Raiders?
I think so,
He
yeah.
was hired by the Raiders to be their defensive coordinator. And just yesterday, the Giants, since they lost Patrick Graham, since he went to the Raiders, they actually requested permission to interview Teryl Austin. Ultimately, that didn't happen as Austin is, of course, being promoted.
Right. But, they did interview some guys, but ultimately, we all knew they were going to go to the term of just what they did the last number of years.
Yeah, in-house promotions.
Yes. Now, I know Austin's been with the team for only 3 years, so it's not necessarily a complete in-house promotion. It's not like a Keith Butler promotion where he was with the team for a decade and a half and then he ultimately got promoted. It's not like that, but it's still someone in-house that they obviously trained to pretty much revive himself and then eventually take over the spot for Butler after he retired.
Right.
But it's also more so the fact that Tomlin can remain in control of the defense, as that has been confirmed.
Yeah, although they try to go out their way and try to interview these guys from outside or other organizations, which I can appreciate, and that's the least I would want the Steelers to do.
But it's also because it was a requirement due to the NFL rule.
Yes, so they had to, and they did, but ultimately they promote Austin to be the DC. Tomlin remains in control, which recently, he has not had much success in. And with Austin being promoted, if I'm going to be completely honest with you guys, I don't see much difference.
And listen, it's not an Austin thing. It's not a Teryl Austin thing.
No, because I want to say this about Teryl Austin real quick. Ever since he's came to the Steelers as our secondary coach, he's benefited the secondary so much.
Yes.
He's helped develop and turn these guys into complete, overall good players.
Yeah, from what we used to have when Cardinal Lake was a secondary guy. And the turnover differential has increased defensively for sure. So credit to Austin on that. It's not a Teryl Austin thing. It's the fact they continue to go to the same path they always have, which is in-house promotion instead of going out of their way, grabbing someone like a Vic Fangio or a Wink Martindale or even a Chris Richards who they could have grabbed up from, I believe, the Saints.
Yeah.
Or a Joe Witt from, I think, the Cowboys. Or a Patrick Graham from the Giants. Because he was the Giants DC, and then he ultimately went to the Raiders to take over the same spot.
Yeah. And ultimately, guys outside other organizations, they're not going to come in if they know that Tomlin's going to be the one drawing up the plays and calling the plays.
Right. If they're not going to have full freedom, they're not going to willingly come to Pittsburgh.
And with Austin being promoted, I see this, at least as of right now, he could very well get the opportunity to call the plays, which, fingers crossed, I hope, so we can actually see what Austin's capable of with this type of defense, with these type of players that he's got as our new DC. But ultimately, I think it's just going to be the same thing, and it's going to be another Keith Butler scenario where he's just going to be there for show, and he's going to be the fall guy when Tomlin's play calling doesn't really turn out to be successful, which it hasn't.
You could say this is kind of like another puppet hiring, honestly. The guy to take the fall, I suppose. When the defense, when or if the defense has another debacle performance like they have in the last 3 playoff games.
Now, credit, the offense hasn't done anything much in those games, and they've really hurt the defense a lot.
Yeah,
but
a lot.
Even then, the defense, with how our defense has been the past couple of years, I mean, they got to show something in the playoffs, and they ultimately didn't.
Yes.
In the end, they completely blew it.
Now, because they had to interview guys before eventually promoting Austin due to legal requirements, that doesn't mean they just interviewed the guys just because they had to. It's still possible they could bring in a guy like a Chris Richards or Joe Witt to take over the same spot Austin just had.
Yeah, since Austin's new DC, that leaves a hole, as of right now, for secondary coach.
As our senior defensive assistant / secondary coach. So either of these guys who have experience in that realm as a DB coach, as a secondary coach, and have great success could very well take over the role Austin had.
Yeah. And Richards and Witt, they've had great success.
I've always liked the Chris Richards, man. Joe Witt, I'm not too entirely familiar with, but Chris Richard, I've always liked his resume when he was with the Hawks, when he was with the Cowboys, and just recently with the Saints. So I'd like to bring him in to take over the same job as Austin and keep the secondary young and fresh because that's his bread and butter there.
Yeah.
And, of course, secondary is going to be an issue, specifically the cornerback position, because it's going to be a change of scenery for that position specifically come this offseason.
For sure.
So,
but Teryl Austin's our new defensive coordinator. Again, I'm not really expecting much difference. Fingers crossed that there will be. I hope that he gets the opportunity to call the plays. All we can do is be optimistic and see what he can potentially do as our new DC.
That's all we can do is remain optimistic.
As we have a new face at defensive coordinator for the first time in 7 years.
And again, the Steelers could very well bring in a guy to take over the role Austin just had. Unless Austin keeps that role, but I doubt it. Because it's rare a guy gets promoted and keeps the same role he just had.
I mean, Keith Butler didn't do it. I mean, we have Jerry how do you pronounce that name? I cannot.
I know who you're talking about.
I can't pronounce names. You guys should know by now we are terrible with names.
Right.
But our linebackers coach, when Butler was promoted, we brought him in.
Yes.
And he's now our linebackers coach. So I would have to assume that we bring in a veteran secondary coach.
I would imagine so. But also, just, because DC is out the way for the Steelers, they ain't got to worry about that. That obviously opens the next page for the Steelers coaching staff that they will have to worry about is O-line coach. Of course, Adrian Clem left for the Ducks towards the end of last season, and our assistant O-line coach, Chris Morgan, took over and showed a little bit of effort, a little more effort, actually, a little bit more promise toward that group, and he was in line to be promoted for that spot. Ultimately, that's not the case because he just got hired as the Chicago Bears' next O-line coach.
So as of right now, we don't have an assistant offensive line coach as of right now, and we don't have a true O-line coach. So Steelers are going to be looking for sure to fill that hole at coaching.
Which is going to be the biggest need this offseason. Without a doubt. I even put it over quarterback.
No, we've been very outspoken that offensive line needs to be number one priority.
So
the offensive line has got to be the biggest priority for the Steelers.
So who is going to be the next Steelers O-line coach? I don't know. In fact, there's not a lot of names out there that have been reported that the Steelers have shown interest in or have interviewed, because I doubt they've even thought about that yet. They're probably focusing on DC first, and then now they'll focus on O-line since Austin has been confirmed promoted. So it'll be interesting to see who they bring in, who they interview, who they put in line. One guy that everyone is clearly preaching, and I see it in the chat. I see you guys, and believe me, I really hope it happens. I don't know if it will, but he is no longer going to be the Broncos offensive line coach. But fingers crossed we get the return of Mike Munchak. Fingers crossed. He is no longer the O-line coach. They just hired someone else to take over the spot. So he is now a free agent, I suppose. So could he return to Pittsburgh? The only reason he left Pittsburgh was because he wanted to get closer to family, which was in Denver. And the job was open. So it was the best of both worlds for Munchak. Now that position is filled, could he return? Keep in mind, the Steelers did indeed offer him an extension. Ultimately, he left Denver for, like I said, family reasons. Now, the position's open. Could he make that return? He's been one of our biggest losses the last 5 years.
Yeah, when you look at the list of losses the Steelers have sustained, Munchak probably ranks at number one. Because I cannot tell you how much influence and how great Munchak was to our offensive line. Like, dude, the way he developed guys and made guys top offensive linemen, guys like Ramon Foster, who was an undrafted free agent.
Alejandro Villanueva was a fucking tight end / wide receiver at Army. And then he was a defensive end for the Eagles. And then Tomlin was so enamored by his size in the preseason game, he's like, all right, we're going to bring him in after he gets cut in final cuts. And then Munchak turned that man into a Pro Bowl left tackle. Plus, there's Chris Hubbard, there's Kelvin Beachum. There's so many other names I could list.
He helped in the early development of David DeCastro in his young career.
Bro,
that guy literally made the Goon Squad, which was arguably the best offensive line in Steelers history.
Arguably, definitely in recent memory. Definitely in Ben's career. In my opinion, it was the best line in the league for about 3-4 years. It made Bell's career.
It did make Bell's career. It gave Ben so much time to throw the ball, so much protection. Like, my God, he could literally brush his teeth.
He went from the most sacked quarterback to the least sacked quarterback just because of the line.
That helped Ben so much in his career. It actually extended his career in some degree because he wasn't getting hit so much. Like he was in his early career.
So, fingers crossed Munchak does return to Pittsburgh. I'm sure the Steelers are so heavy interest in him. It's just a matter if he wants to return to Pittsburgh or does he want to remain home.
I sure hope so.
Does he want to keep coaching? Because family does outweigh a lot of things. In fact, it outweighs everything, as it should. It does for Munchak. So could he return to Pittsburgh? Fingers crossed. If not, Doug Marrone is still out there. He was Bama's O-line coach this year, and he's definitely looking to get back into the NFL, and O-line is what he usually works with best at, so we could bring in a Doug Marrone as well. That's another name I'm going to toss out there. Otherwise, I don't know who else we could pry away.
If there's any other names that you guys in the chat potentially may want to try or hope that the Steelers get, definitely put it down in the comment section. But
I'm going to throw a legit pipe dream here. Bill Callahan of the Browns. He's the guy that built up the Browns O-line, but I doubt the Browns will let him go. They'd be stupid to do that.
They'd be very stupid to do that.
Those are the only guys I can think of. But hopefully Munchak returns and he fills in O-line perfectly, and we can start improving this weak, young, inexperienced O-line for years to come.
Yeah, I was very surprised that Morgan did get hired by the Bears because those last 2 weeks of the regular season, late last season, with how they were in those 2 weeks, they looked much more better compared to the whole rest of the season when Clem was offensive line coach. And I was for sure Morgan was going to be promoted. Obviously, he chose the Bears. So that's got to make you think. The Steelers probably didn't even offer him the chance to be the offensive line coach.
I don't know.
Because he could have stayed with the Steelers if he was offered. But the fact that he went to the Bears, maybe the Steelers didn't even offer him at all.
Yeah.
Ultimately, they had to look for an offensive line coach. And I'm sure that's going to be their next move since they got DC taken care of now with Austin.
Exactly.
So, offensive line coach, they have to go out their way and find a really good one. Fingers crossed it's Munchak or Marrone. But we'll see what they do.
I would hope so. It's one of those two.
I'm very interested to see what they do.
Because this is going to be the next need that they will have to address before free agency hits is O-line coach. And that's going to be a big name to talk, a big position to fill for sure. They have to hit a home run with that.
Without a doubt.
Let's see what's going on in the chat here. Bring back Munchak. Hashtag bring back Mike Munchak. When the DC will spend a day standing on the sidelines with a dead set strapped to his head while Tomlin runs defense, it doesn't matter who they really get to be the DC. Exactly. So that's why they promoted Austin. It's just an easy route to go.
Right.
Munchak for O-line coach says, Noah, I wish, I hope. It could happen, man. You can be the best coach there. I coached Little League Baseball 12 years, but if you do not have the players, there's only so much you can do. Says the Cuba 70. Yeah, exactly.
Mm-hmm. Of course.
So I'll give Austin the benefit of the doubt of the fact that he had nobody to work with, and he obviously is going to be the guy to blame because he's the guy at that position.
Yeah.
So I'll give him the benefit of the doubt the fact he didn't have nobody to work with the Lions or the Bengals, and we have one of the best defenses in the league still, definitely top 10 in my opinion, when it's fully healthy.
Oh, for sure. Without a doubt.
So Danielle says, what's going on, SteelTwins? What's good, Danielle? Sun City says, I don't know, but we should grab Russell Wilson and then draft Jordan Davis at 20, then get the best offensive tackle and middle linebacker on the board in round 2 and 3. See, man, Russell Wilson, that's a pipe dream. And listen, I would love Russell Wilson on the Steelers, but there's no way we can afford any of it in any way. We can't afford it via cap-wise, and we can't afford it via draft capital. We have very limited draft capital at the moment, and for us to trade for a guy like Russell Wilson, it's going to cost a lot. We have to trade a lot of this year's picks, which we have 5 or 6, I believe.
Of right now, yeah.
And we would have to trade probably next year's picks. Would you want to trade next year's picks and leave your next GM very limited in his first draft ever?
And have all the cap that you have right now and could very still make. You know, because the Steelers could still make room just to increase the cap. But would you want to risk having the majority of that cap being taken away by one quarterback when you got to look at the other positions as well? Like quarterback isn't the only need that we got to focus on. There's other positions that we got to fill and take care of.
Right.
Like quarterback isn't the only thing that could really help us succeed or make sure that we can be very competitive.
Right.
We can still take care of other positions and fill those other needs with just as much as Russell Wilson's more likely getting paid this year.
Yeah, exactly.
With his cap. And Jordan Davis at 20, I would like Jordan Davis. I think he's a hell of a talent, but I don't think a defensive line is really a need currently because Tyson Alualu's coming back. And, well, we don't know the update on Tua. We don't know what's going on with Tua. We'll just have to wait for that. But
honestly, if Tua doesn't come back, I mean, I'm comfortable going with Chris Wormley.
Yeah, Wormley definitely showcased that he's starting capable.
We would just have to focus on depth. We could figure that out in free agency.
Plus, I don't know if Jordan Davis would really last to 20, honestly.
Well, I don't know if he's a first rounder. I've heard there's issues with him being gassed and all this. He's a big body. And he's very athletic for his size, but he gets gassed easily. So is he a 3-down guy? He could fill in for Tua, but is he a 3-down guy?
I think
that's everyone's biggest worry about him. Best offensive tackle, middle linebacker on the board round 2 and 3. I'm up for that. The issue with offensive tackle this year is there are names. There's guys out there. It's pretty stacked, I suppose. But outside of the top 2 or 3, maybe 4 offensive tackles, everyone else is going to have to be a serious project.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of inexperienced guys. Like a Daniel Falili, a Bernard Raymond, a Darian Kennard, who's probably going to go to guard, to be real with you. Who else is there?
There's a Max Mitchell. I think there's is Jackson Kirkland still going to be on this draft?
I believe so. So there's guys out there we could grab round 2 or 3 for offensive tackle, but some of them are going to be projects. That's why I think we ought to go out of the way and get a right tackle in free agency. And still go offensive tackle at some point in the draft, maybe early if there's a guy on the board, and then develop him to take over. Because whoever you're going to get at right tackle this year is not going to be a long-term plan because there's not a lot of young right tackles that can be long-term futures.
Right, of course.
But middle linebacker, definitely. Middle linebacker is probably one of the most stacked positions in this draft class. There's so many great guys around 2 or 3 we can grab. Future starters. There's already guys I really love and I'm already looking at, man. Chad Muma. Chanel, what's his name? Tyndall. Oh, Channing Tyndall.
Channing Tyndall. There's a Christian Harris. There's a, what's his name? Darian Beavers.
Yeah.
There's a Brian Asoma. I think that's how you pronounce him.
Yeah, Asomo.
There's a lot of talented linebackers in this draft class as well. And linebacker could very well be another position we could look at, considering with how much Joe Schobert's being made and the uncertainty of Bush's future, with how he's kind of fallen down as far as play style goes since his ACL injury.
And I guess this is kind of a little preview talk of a video we're going to have out later this week.
Yeah.
So There you go with that. I don't know why we keep promoting from within the organization. It's like we never learned from Randy Fichtner, Matt Canada, or Keith Butler, says Lauren. Yeah, I agree. I don't get it. I don't know why we don't go out of our way and grab someone. I really don't understand it.
Neither do I.
Guys that succeeded in other schemes. Guys that could open up this offense a little bit.
Like, honestly, if you think about it, like, how honestly do you think you can succeed if you're just going to have the same personnel year by year, or just promote the people that you already have?
Because it's the same issues year in and year out.
Yeah,
if you don't change.
So how do you think, how can you honestly succeed if you're just going to keep the same people
It's like
at coaching?
It's like if you were to open a restaurant and you have the same recipes from one restaurant to the other. The old restaurant failed for a reason, so you're going to drag everything from the old restaurant into the new. You're not going to succeed that way.
No, you're not.
That's my analogy there.
Yeah.
All we can do is remain optimistic.
Well, of course.
That's all we can do. Y'all can have Tom Cable. We don't want him. Well, if the Raiders don't want him, then we don't want him. Honestly, says Knock Andrew. Let's see. Cam R says Alan Faneca as the assistant O-line coach. I'd love that. I'd love to bring Faneca in as a coach. And plus, I think we need his mentality, his
leadership,
his culture into the locker room.
Yeah.
Because that's something that we've missed in the locker room is guys like Faneca. He would easily bring that back into the locker room.
Yeah, that old culture. That's another thing, that's hasn't really been talked about in a couple of weeks is the culture. Like that culture, that old culture needs to come back. Because this new culture, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan. Honestly, I think it's very drama-like, in my honest opinion.
It has been for years. Has been for years, man.
I'm just not a fan of it. I prefer the old one.
Most great O-line coaches want to take an OC job versus a lateral move as an O-line coach with another team, says Ben. I guess you're referring to when I said Doug Marrone could come back into the league as O-line coach. I mean, I could see that. He could come in as a OC for another team, but I think just to get back into the league, he'll take any O-line job. Respect the move, but I'm tired of this in-house hiring. I believe Mike Tomlin don't want to deal with new personalities from other new coaches. Yeah, I don't know. With Tomlin, it seems like it's like a power struggle sort of deal. I've noticed that in a few years because with the defense, obviously, and the offense, I don't know.
I don't think Tomlin's a control freak. I don't. And being a head coach for a long period of time, for as long as Mike Tomlin's been, I mean, it's totally understandable for him to basically take control of both coordinator positions.
Right.
But every now and then, you got those guys in there for a reason, supposedly. So let them do their job.
Exactly.
That's what I would like to see, especially with Austin being promoted.
It's Aiden Too Cool says, do you think we trade a player in the offseason to get more picks? If so, which player?
I can definitely see a trade potentially happening.
Great question. I don't know who.
I don't think we trade Schobert. I don't think anyone's going to want that money. Either we take more of that money away from Schobert or we just flat out cut him. I don't think Schobert gets traded. I could see Tuitt potentially being traded if he's still up to playing football.
I could see Tuitt, but the Steelers aren't going to trade him if he's going to want to come back. They'll gladly bring him in.
Yeah.
Otherwise, if he retires, then that cap's freed up.
Yeah.
I doubt they trade Tuitt. I don't know who they could trade. I
don't think they'd trade Kendrick Green because he hasn't worked out at center. I think they actually experiment him at guard, which I'm up for.
They absolutely should.
I'm up for. I think moving him to guard won't exactly fix all his problems because he's still got some problems as an offensive lineman. But that would be a start for his young career as an offensive lineman because he's not a center. C.J. Hasenauer, an undrafted free agent from years ago, was a much better center.
Who's actually in similar size. Height-wise.
Yeah, and I don't think it's a height thing for Kendrick Green. I never thought it was a height thing.
No, there's just a lot of issues with Kendrick Green. I move him to guard and maybe start getting him battling for a starting position at left guard. Move Dotson back to right. Yeah, I wouldn't gift Green the job. No. Not at all. There's a reason why he got benched last year for Hasenauer towards the end of the season. I would move Green back to guard and then start working his development again and maybe give him the chance to start at left guard come training camp. With whoever that is, it could be a rookie. It could be a free agent signing. I don't know. But I think a position battle could do well for Green.
That's just Green, but a lot of these guys as well.
Because let's be real. He didn't have no battle last year. He was gifted the center job, which was so stupid.
Yeah, he didn't have to do anything. And I don't want that. I want these guys to go out there and freaking play to their true best in practice. I want them to prove why they can be a starter.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what I want.
No, pass on Wilson. What about Mariota? Yeah, that was a video we previously just put up about what's next for the quarterback position. Mariota was a guy that we definitely listed and could be a heavy candidate for the Steelers just because he's mobile. Quarterback's wide open, so he's definitely going to line up. And I do believe Pittsburgh is the best place for second chances, so he's definitely looking for that second chance to revive his career.
Yeah.
Not saying he will or not saying he won't, but, there's an opportunity there. He's mobile. He could come to the Steelers for a second chance.
He's a veteran.
He has playoff experience. So,
and I think he has solid leadership skills as well when it comes to quarterback.
So everything that the Steelers are looking for in a quarterback, whether that's mobility or the ability to keep them competitive for next year, which is how the Steelers always roll, Mariota fits that for sure.
Oh, without a doubt. And I would not mind Mariota in free agency one bit. I really would not.
If there was any quarterback I would want is Russell Wilson, but like you guys, it would require for us to trade our future, basically. It would. That's a lot of picks, man. And I'm not trying to, I suppose, to put it in words, handicap the next GM.
Not just that, but you sacrifice the other positions and just neglect those positions for one guy.
Yeah. Russell Wilson is better than any quarterback or player at 20. I'd definitely trade a first this year and next year for Wilson. Wilson still has at least 5-6 years of elite play left. He does. I'm not disagreeing with you whatsoever.
No, Russell Wilson is still one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Not denying that one bit.
I just don't want to trade that many picks for, someone that's going to be here for, 5-6 years, maybe. I'm looking for a long-term plan. That's not necessarily long-term. When I think of long-term, I'm thinking like a 10-year plan, honestly.
Right.
I'm just not comfortable trading away so many picks for someone like Wilson. I like Wilson. He's a great quarterback. He definitely could use a change of scenery. I think he'd have great success with Mike Tomlin. I just don't know about trading so many picks for him. Or high picks in that manner. If he is there, get Tyler Linderbaum. That's my guy. That's my guy at 20 if he's there.
I hope to God he's there. I really hope to God Tyler Linderbaum is there.
Yeah. To be honest, Devontae Wyatt is better than Jordan Davis, and Wyatt fits more our system. He does. I have to look more into him, but the name definitely rings a bell. If it's up to me, due to our lack of draft capital, I'm focusing on DT or defensive line in free agency. Honestly.
Yeah. And there's some pretty solid guys in free agency too that we could potentially pick up and have as quality depth.
There's one guy I keep thinking of, and I'm going to throw his name out there, and it's not going to be the last time I do until he gets signed or re-signed or whatever. Tim Settle.
Of the Washington Commanders.
What the fuck?
I think just having that name alone, he won't resign.
What the fuck is a Washington Commander? What is a commander? I don't know.
I feel for these Commanders fans.
But he was a...
Can you honestly go... Can you imagine going to work and saying, yeah, I'm a Commanders fan? I feel bad for them. I do. Bro, football team was better.
I was getting used to that. It's just stuck with that.
What happened to the Red Wolves or whatever?
The Red Tails or the Warriors. Washington Warriors. That's cool.
You see their helmet too?
It took you...
Do you see their helmet too? It looks like a Wario from Mario.
Yeah. But
my God, I feel bad for them. But Tim Settle, he's a solid option.
5th round pick out of Virginia Tech. And I say that very loudly because that's what Tomlin loves. He loves his Virginia Tech boys. Terrell Edmonds, specifically.
Yeah.
He loves his Virginia Tech guys. It's where he grew up. He always loves his Virginia Tech boys. So he could bring him in. We need defensive line depth. And I think he'd do wonders, man. He was buried under a very stacked defensive line depth chart. When he stepped up due to injury, he did well in limited playing time. He's still fresh. He's still young. Mm-hmm. I'd bring him in as depth and definitely work him out as a way as possibly taking over Alualu's spot.
Yeah, and you have Alualu coming back. You would have Tim Settle potentially as depth, and you could still potentially try to re-sign Montravius Adams. That's some solid depth at D-tackle.
Yeah.
That's really solid depth.
You're right.
Especially with how Alualu's been recently the past 2 years. He's been more injury prone compared to his earlier years in the NFL.
But that's why I'm also bringing in a guy like Settle because Alualu, he's great. I love Alualu. He stepped in tremendously when Hargrave left for the Eagles, but he does have injury concerns the last 2 years. 2 straight season-ending injuries.
Yeah, and if he ever goes back down, knock on wood, you got to get a quality guy to replace him.
Yeah.
Because when he left, our rush defense literally went bye-bye.
Yeah, real fast. Steelers have $32 million in cap space. Also have ways to make more. My quarterback via trade, if cleared, would be Watson. He's only 26, and he'd be here for the future. You can also restructure his deal. Watson would be my biggest pipe dream. Not Rodgers, not Wilson, not Kenny Pickett, not Malik Willis. It's Deshaun Watson.
A guy that's got 10, 15 years left still in him.
But, man, there's too much baggage.
The baggage, man.
There's too much baggage. Until it gets cleared, not even touching him. Also, Kirkland is returning to Washington.
Oh, he is? Okay.
Jackson
okay.
Kirkland
wow.
is returning.
As a matter of fact, that's actually good for him in his career.
That is good for him.
Because Kirkland I always thought was a solid player, but going back to Washington, that could definitely help his development a lot.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
Definitely a lot.
Noah says get Jacoby Brissett for quarterback because he is cheaper. Then go heavy O-line in draft.
I would not mind Brissett
I
either.
wouldn't mind Brissett. I always thought he was one of the better backups in the league.
Yeah, he's got plenty of starting experience. He started, 2 years for the Colts. He stepped in when Tua wasn't doing good for the Dolphins. So getting a guy like Jacoby Brissett would be cheap, and he's not a terrible starter either.
No.
He's nothing mind-blowing at all, but when it comes to a gap guy, that's him as well.
Right.
And he's a solid backup at the same time.
Should there be a replacement for Bud Dupree since he left to Tennessee? That replacement is Alex Highsmith. He had, 6.5 sacks this year?
Yeah, I mean...
That replacement is Alex Highsmith. He was a third-round pick out of Charlotte.
Yeah, that's why we got him. We didn't get him just for depth. We got him to replace Dupree, and he's been a solid replacement thus far.
I'm a big fan of Highsmith. He's got a lot of big upside, man.
And if you remember down the last remaining games, he was stepping up big time.
Yeah.
Like, you look at his statistics, like, he showed up.
Yeah.
He came up big. Highsmith's going to be something nice. I truly believe that.
By the way, SteelTwins, if we go cornerback later in the draft, I want Kobe Bryant out of Cincinnati.
Yes.
Big fan of Kobe. And if we do draft him, I want him to have 1 or 2 numbers, which is 8 or 24, for obvious reasons.
Obvious reasons.
I'm a big fan of Kobe Bryant. I will love him in the 2nd or 3rd round. And honestly, him and Sauce Gardner worked really well in Cincinnati, but obviously the Steelers are going to look into Cincinnati a lot because Desmond Ritter's there. He's going to be an option in the 2nd round for the Steelers if they don't go quarterback 1st round. So they're going to look into the college, Cincinnati. That could lead to a Kobe Bryant. That could lead to a Darian Beavers. That could lead to a Sauce Gardner at 20. I don't know. Anything. That could lead to a Desmond Ridder in the 2nd round. Yeah. But they're going to look into Cincinnati, and there's a lot of guys coming into the draft this year from that college that I really like.
Yeah.
Jedi says he's better than Sauce Gardner. I actually agree. Gardner's just a little too lean. If you know what I mean. Like he's got ideal corner size, but he's too skinny.
No, but Kobe Bryant, he's explosive. Like he's so flashy. He does a damn good job. He did a damn good job in Cincinnati. I think he's going to be something special when he comes to the NFL. Fingers crossed it's the Steelers. Rob
James says Steelers have to be willing to spend money on free agency, too, in order to get a jump start on the rebuild. You're right. And that's something we're going to get into for the video we're going to have out later this week.
Yeah.
Which I'm thinking is probably going to be out Thursday or Friday.
Yeah.
What about Zion Johnson for center for Steelers? Yeah, Johnson got some reps at center at the Senior Bowl. But I'm not switching a guard to a center again for the Steelers. No. I'm not doing that.
And I think Johnson's a better guard anyway.
See, he has great versatility, though. He did work at center, but he also started a full year at left tackle and at left guard.
Yeah.
So he's a versatile guy and a true option out of Boston College at 20.
But do you want to go with that experiment again for a 2nd straight year?
I'm not starting him at center. If we draft Johnson, he's the left guard. He is the left guard.
Yeah.
Senior Bowl Spies watching Tomlin says he's very enamored with Nevada wide receiver Romero.
Romero Dubes?
Romeo
Doubs.
Dubes? Romeo Dubes. Juju replacement.
Or Dubs. Is it Dubs?
And UConn nose tackle Travis Jones, new big snack. Travis Jones. Now, I don't know anything about Romeo Dubes. I have to look at him. Travis Jones was a big name that came out of the Senior Bowl. Like, he dominated a lot. He could be an option.
Very well could be, but Romeo, I think it's Dubs. Romeo Dubs.
You might be right.
He's a solid option as well. I think he has decent hands. He's got nice speed. He's got good size. I would not mind him in the mid rounds potentially.
There's a lot of receivers that stepped up in the Senior Bowl. Christian Harris. What's his name? Wide receiver from North Dakota State. Big boy, 6'5", 200.
What the hell?
What's his name?
Not Calvin Austin, no.
No, Calvin Austin. He's another guy I really like. Calvin Austin is very, very skinny, very lean. He's like 5'7", 5'8" on a good day, 162. He's kind of like a Tutu Atwell or a Ronald Moore or Rondale Moore.
Yeah.
But he's explosive as shit. I also like Bo Melton in the later rounds. He could be a speedy guy, return specialist, similar to a Ray McLeod.
Another late round guy could very well be Trey Turner out of Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech guy. Tomlin likes the Virginia Tech boys, and he's another solid option for depth. There's Khalil Shakir out of Boise State, I think.
There's those guys, man.
There's Reggie Robertson Jr.
Because wide receiver is going to be a position we're going to have to fix for sure. Because Juju could be gone. He's said things. He's hinted things. He could be gone.
His cryptic stuff.
James Washington, you might as well. He's gone. Like, we can all agree on that. James Washington is out of here, so receiver is going to be a position we're going to have to address at some point. I'm more excited for this draft than I ever was. Maybe it's because Ben is gone, and the draft is pretty stacked outside of quarterback. Yeah, it is. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be a very fun offseason for the Steelers in general because there's a lot of positions they're going to have to fix, and we'll see what they do. This is literally the end of an era, so what they do moving forward will determine the future for years to come.
For sure, brother.
And this is Colbert's last offseason, so let's see how he goes out. I'm excited, man. I'm very excited. We need to build up the trenches. This draft says Ray underrated. I agree, for sure. We should have went and got a new DC outside the franchise, says John. I agree.
Yep.
Businesses will promote from within if there is a qualified candidate. If not, they hire elsewhere. Easier to promote from within, but sometimes you need to hire from the outside, says Ben V. Very well said, Ben.
Very well said. I agree. But, hey, the Steelers, it's what they do. It's the easier way.
Yeah.
It's a complacent way. It is what it is, I guess.
Standard's the standard, I guess. Remember, free agents are out there for a reason. They have been released from the team. Free agency is going to be very interesting. I think the new league date is the 15th of March, if I'm correct.
Is it the 15th?
It is the 16th.
The 16th.
The 16th.
Okay. So 3/16.
Correct. Oh, hell yeah. What was your perfect draft for the Steelers? Oh, man.
Bro.
I can't get into that yet. Mock draft season's in about a week.
Yeah, we'll be releasing our first mock draft the Wednesday after the Super Bowl. But we got guys. We've been looking at guys. We got some people.
I think we already got. Do we have our first mock finalized?
I wouldn't say finalized. I think it's more so of a draft, no pun intended.
Yeah.
But we got guys we're looking at. We got guys that we're interested in. That could be Steelers.
Yeah,
sure.
You're right. And I believe we are so far on these comments. Don't worry, we'll get to you guys. Let's see. I like Watson more. Reminds me of a better version of Martavis Bryant without the off-field issues. Yeah. Christian Watson, I believe, was his name from North Dakota State. Yeah, I mean, crazy size, crazy ability. He definitely risen his stock a lot.
Mm-hmm. Oh, yeah.
Kendrick Green, the 33rd ranked center, maybe the 7th, maybe. Let's see. Why does everyone think trade a player if you wait, they get released anyway? Well, you're not always guaranteed to get them if they're cut. Steelers should consider bringing a guy like Sony Michel or Jamal Williams to back up Najee at running back. I agree. We need to get a number 2 running back. And no, I am not drafting one this year. Enough of these day 3 bums. These Jalen Samuels, these Kalen Ballage, these Benny Snells. Who else? Anthony McFarland. I'm done. No more day 3 bums. You have to go out of your way and grab someone like you did when you had D'Angelo Williams and LeGarrette Blount.
Right.
Or even a Deuce Staley if you want to go back way far.
Now, I will say this. There are some decent running backs in this draft class. I've been looking there at times. There's Brian Robinson. There's, what's his name? Damian Pierce. I think that's his name.
I really like James Cook. He's Dalvin Cook's brother.
James Cook,
I
of course.
really like James Cook out of, I think, Georgia. He's a really complete back and would be a good number 2. Those are my only exceptions. But I'm going out of my way and grabbing a number 2 running back in free agency.
Yeah, get a veteran running back in free, because there's going to be some quality number 2 guys in free agency. I think it's something the Steelers could definitely go out there and at least get for at least a year. At least a year and experiment that, because I don't want Najee being run into the ground like we did with Bell and Connor, right?
Yeah, real shit.
Because that hurt their careers until Connor resurrected his in Arizona, which Connor could very well be a free agent, but I know he's not leaving Arizona. There's no way he's leaving Arizona.
I wish.
There's no way he's leaving Arizona. Even if he were to come back, if I'm going to be honest, I don't think he'd be used the same way as he was used in Arizona.
I wish. I wish, but that's not happening. That's not happening. But we do need a number 2 back. Hi, SteelTwins. We got to make big moves in free agency if we are going to be with the Bengals and the Ravens. You're right. You're absolutely right. Let's see. Ebron and Washington are free agents this year, I think. Yeah, they're both gone. They're both done in Pittsburgh. Steelers need to draft O-line first and second round. Seriously, I agree. Dude, I've said that we should have gotten Jamal Williams as our number 2 back. Yeah, I agree. Definitely. Urban Meyer is the coach we need. Huh?
Oh, no, you're playing.
What? No. Definitely not. Kenny Pickett is our guy. He's from Pittsburgh. He knows what the toughness is like here and knows the fans and has really took only a few steps to get better, either Pickett or Mason. Pickett could be there.
Yeah, with the rise of Malik Willis from the Senior Bowl.
I still think...
Which the Steelers have shown heavy interest in some of these Senior Bowl quarterbacks, which the notable names are Kenny Pickett and Malik Willis.
As you guys can see there, in the left photo, there's Malik Willis in the red jersey. There's Matt Canada. You can tell by his bald head. There's Mike Tomlin. There's Kevin Colbert. On the right side, there's Kenny Pickett shaking hands with quarterback coach Mike Sullivan. Not the Penn's head coach.
No.
That's Mike Sullivan, quarterback coach for the Steelers.
So they're showing heavy interest in those 2 individuals. Those 2 are arguably the top 2 quarterbacks in this draft class.
Well, they're going to show interest in all the top 5, top 6 quarterbacks. But, of course, definitely some of these guys, because they're some of the most mobile. They're some of the guys that will definitely be there at 20. That could be options in the first round. Malik Willis, he's risen in stock a lot. If he runs at the combine, he could be taken before. So could Pickett. I don't know. There could be 3 quarterbacks taken before 20. That could be Pickett. That could be Willis. That could be Howe. That could be Coral, depending on how quarterback needy teams there are. There's the Saints.
There's the Panthers. There's the Commanders now. I got to get used to that.
The Commanders. But there's many teams, so who knows? Who knows? I'm still preaching. We got to go O-line, regardless.
I think it depending on what they do in free agency and who's on the board at 20, I think that's what really depends on if they go quarterback first round.
Right.
To which I've grown a little bit to it, but I think we should just go O-line overall. But again, it depends on what happens in free agency and who's there at pick 20.
Yeah.
And I don't think we trade up. And honestly,
I don't think we should.
For a quarterback, it's going to have to be a lot more than what we gave up for Devin Bush when we traded up from 20 to 10 for Bush to Denver.
Yeah, it's not going to be the same situation.
No, quarterback teams are going to want a lot more.
Yeah.
And I don't know if I'd be willing to risk that.
Son of Steel says, hey, what's up, bros? He's looking to make my draft videos. Hopefully joining you guys on Discord, if only I know how to. I still got to send you the link.
Yeah.
Can I message you via your YouTube page here? Give me a minute. Because I know you don't have Twitter or nothing. So let's see if I can try to email you or... Because I don't want to put it in the live chat because last time I did that, there were spammers. And,
yeah, we just don't want to deal with that headache anymore.
That's why I've restricted the people that want to join the Discord would have to DM us on Twitter or Instagram to get an invite because when I just had it wide open in the description or in the live chat, people would just come in and start spamming. So,
yeah,
that's why I did it like that. But I still got to send you the link. So
For sure.
Thoughts on the Pro Bowl being trash?
I didn't even watch it.
I said I was going to watch it just so I can see Najee behind a good O-line. Yeah, I didn't watch it. You know what I was doing? I was sleeping. I was napping. Dead ass.
I saw some film. I saw some films on YouTube and social media. Guys barely tackle.
Sean Taylor would be so disappointed.
Literally, and the whistle's blown.
What is the point of the Pro Bowl if we're just going to have that? What is entertaining about that? At this point, get rid of the Pro Bowl, and whoever's selected to this Pro Bowl, just call it the All-Madden team in honor of John Madden.
Yes.
What the fuck is the point of the Pro Bowl? I'd rather them just do competition battles. Whoever, like they did in the old days. Farthest throw. I don't know, best accuracy, or whatever these pro challenges they're doing these days. The dodgeball and stuff, or best catch. That stuff's cool. I watch that. But bring back some of the classics and just include that.
Yeah, the old drills, man.
What's the point of the game if that's going to be the game? Not a fan.
No, not at all one bit.
Yeah. Let's see where we at. If Leonard Baum isn't there, what about Zion Johnson? He is a guard, but he plays center a lot better than Green. Yeah, but I'm not trying to transition a guard to center again. I think Johnson only has one start at center. I could be wrong. I don't know too much about Zion's starting experience, but if we select him there, which he's going to be a very realistic option, I'm definitely keeping him at guard.
Yeah.
Left guard specifically. And Zion Johnson could be a serious option because not only is he a position of need, not only is he a guard, not only is he versatile, he's from Boston College, who Mike Tomlin's son just transferred to. He transferred from Maryland to Boston College. So that college is going to be a serious scouting area for Tomlin for this year and next year.
And speaking of Boston College, there's actually a center that, if we were to wait on center, which I wouldn't be too keen, but if we were to wait and we don't get one in free agency, one guy that's there is Alec Linkstorm.
Boston College has a really good resume for offensive linemen. And Lindstorm, he has everything the Steelers want and a guy like him.
Yeah.
Bloodlines, experience. He's a pure center. He's a position in need. Could be a guy day too.
Potentially, yeah.
I don't know, man. See this draft, I'm already getting amped about it.
Yeah, you see,
I love this time of year.
There's all types of options and different scenarios that we could talk about that the Steelers could go. That's the exciting part.
I love this time.
Different opinions, different takes, The fun part about the offseason.
If both Juju and Washington leave, Ray McLeod is about to be the wide receiver 3. No, please not. Please not. It's nothing against Ray, but he's not a top 3 receiver on the team. He's not.
No.
Tuitt is up in the air. We need Jordan Davis with Cam Hayward and Watt Highsmith. Sick deal. It would be sick, man, for sure. But I'm comfortable with Chris Wormley if Tuitt retires or leaves or whatever.
Whatever happens to Tuitt, really.
Who's your guys' current free agent crush? Mine is probably Ryan Jensen. Without a doubt.
I would probably have to agree.
Without a doubt.
There's Ryan Jensen. There's Terran Armstead, although he's a left tackle. And I think we'll stick with Dan Moore at left tackle. I think we'll continue his development and see how he is for left tackle when it comes to long-term solution. Because week by week, Dan Moore did get a bit better. Slowly but surely.
I would keep Dan Moore at left tackle. Right tackle-wise, Trent Brown's there. I know he has injury concerns, but he's still young.
I know there's Morgan Moses. He's a potential free agent because I don't think he's staying with the Jets, and I wouldn't blame him. I think Mitchell Schwartz is still a free agent if you were to get back into football shape. If you were to get back into football, maybe we give him a call potentially.
Obviously, we're just naming offensive linemen here, but Ryan Jensen for sure.
I have to agree, Ryan Jensen. And with Tom Brady officially retired, does he even go back? Would he want to block for a Kyle Trask or Trash or a Blaine Gabbert?
Fuck no.
Or a rookie quarterback?
It depends how much he gets paid.
It depends on how he gets paid.
But the Bucs are going to have a lot of... They have Jordan Whitehead. They got Chris Godwin. They have... Who else? So many others. Ndamukong Suh, Steve McGlendon, Steelers legend. I mean...
They got a boatload of names, so Jensen could very well be one of the guys that might walk.
I'd bring him in. That'd be the first guy I call. For sure. Starting corner prediction for next year, Witherspoon, Sutton, Norwood. That's my prediction. And I'm actually fine with that. As of right now, until maybe we draft someone, but that's my corner prediction right now. It's Witherspoon, Sutton outside, and Trey Norwood in the slot. And I'm comfortable with that.
Yeah, that could be something we do. Maybe we bring in a free agent cornerback. Maybe we actually just put Sun back at nickel and have Sun and Norwood split reps at nickel, and you have Witherspoon and a veteran guy outside.
Or maybe we draft someone. That could be.
Or we could draft someone. Yeah.
That could be a Kobe Bryant, a Roger McCreary. That could be a Kyer Elam, who I really like. There's who else is there? There's
Alontae Taylor. I'm somewhat of a fan of him. I'm growing on him a little bit.
Who's that Clemson corner?
Michael Wright. Is that him? Or is he from?
I'm thinking of someone else. Anthony Booth.
That's his name. Yeah. So Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth.
Andrew Booth.
So there's guys, man. There's guys out there. I don't know, but that's my prediction right now. My baby mama's cousin, sister.
Read that.
My baby mama's cousin, sister, nephew Tracy knows somebody that told me about this stream. Hey, shout out to Friday.
Yeah.
I was watching that shit yesterday on MTV. One of my favorites of all time.
Oh, dude, it's a classic.
That's one of my top 5 movies all time, man.
It's a freaking classic. I love it.
Man, that's funny.
And so relatable too, in some degree.
Well, that's because we grew up in the hood.
Yeah.
I ain't gonna lie to you. We've grown up in the hood our entire life. So it is very relatable, that movie, to us. Ryan Jensen would be perfect center for us in free agency. In fact, how old is he?
I think, what is he, 31?
30 years old. He'd be 31 at the end of May.
Yeah.
But he can still go, man.
Yeah, he sure as hell still go. He played in the Pro Bowl today.
That's a guy we need to snag for sure.
Yeah, because we missed out on Chargers center. What was his name? He was a Packers center.
Corey Linsley.
There you go. I was big on Corey Linsley. I was hoping to God that we pick him up. Obviously, we didn't.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping this year, when it comes to offensive line, if you don't really want to, if you're not too keen on Tyler Linderbaum potentially making it at 20, because there's a very possible chance he could go ahead.
He could. Let's
very
be real.
well. So if you want to secure that position with a veteran guy that can still go for a few more years, Jensen's the guy.
Yeah, for sure. Let's see. Alex Highsmith looks like Jordan Peele. Yeah, he does.
He does. He freaking. I didn't even think about that till now.
Are you drinking a Sea Breeze? No, I'm drinking a Mike's Hard Lemonade. Mike's Hard.
Never tried the flavor yet.
It's pretty good. Max Mitchell was a big tackle in this draft. Yeah, I like Max Mitchell. He'll be a project. He has experience as a swing guy, but I like him day 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind him as a potential development.
Justin Ross or Charleston Rambo. Yeah, those are 2 guys we could get at receiver for sure. Ross, if he could stay healthy, would be a hell of a steal.
I think he could be another T. Higgins.
Could
I
be.
do. If he can stay healthy, that's always his freaking concern.
Yes. Steel Rick says Pittsburgh Steelers Super Bowl 57 champions with a $5 super chat. Man, I appreciate the $5. I appreciate the optimism, but I don't know about that, man. I don't know about that. I can only wish, dog.
We can all hope and dream.
Yeah, what's up? Jahan Dotson, wide receiver, Penn State, he's a sleeper. Dotson is incredible. He's going to be one of the best receivers to come out of this draft. But like Jackson says, he'll probably be gone round 1. He'll probably be gone at the end of the first round. He might go to the fucking Chiefs.
That one's surprising. There's a lot of receivers that could be like the receiver class this year, especially early on, within rounds 1 and 2, and maybe even 3, is so freaking stacked. David Bell, Wan'Dale Robinson, Jahad Dotson. Like, wow. A lot of talent.
There's a lot of talent, man. It's a stacked offensive class, man.
A lot of freaking talent, dude.
Are you guys going to do a PFF mock draft simulation for the fans to choose? Yeah, we'll do that towards the end of the season, or towards the end of the draft season. Probably before we head to Pittsburgh that week.
Yeah.
Because we're going to go to Pittsburgh the last week of April.
For the week of the draft. I can't wait. I'm excited.
Yeah, bro. We put on our vacation this Tuesday, so hopefully it's available that week and we can just fucking enjoy
Plan ahead and get ready for it.
Yeah, man. Bengals fired Austin. He was defensive coordinator when they gave up 3 500-yard games in a row. Yeah, you're right, Jerry. But again, I'll give him the benefit of the doubt because he had nobody to work with. That was when they just kept bringing back the same group of guys. And I mean, like I said, when the Steelers keep promoting in-house, it's like you go or you build up this restaurant and it fails, and you take everything from the old restaurant into the next. I mean, what do you think is going to happen? Hope Colbert spends big and free agency on his way out. I hope so too, man. Colbert could go out with a bang. He could do some stuff we haven't seen Colbert do ever.
So. Yeah, last year it was going to be interesting to see what he does. And Steelers actually interviewed a couple candidates for the vacancy GM spot.
You're right. They did.
Yeah, they interviewed Ryan Coden, who's the Tennessee Titans Vice President of Player Personnel, Ed Dodds. Again, I'm bad with names. He's the Colts Assistant General Manager, and JoJo Wooden, who's the Chargers Director of Player Personnel. They interviewed those three for the Steelers GM vacancy spot.
Now, I'm not looking too much into it because I do think they'll just hire from within again with Omar Khan or Brandon Hunt. Yeah. I'm still sticking with Brandon Hunt. There could be Omar Khan, but I think it's going to be Hunt. So, but that's something to note. They did interview guys for the GM vacancy spot that is upcoming after Colbert retires, but I think they'll just remain in with the in-house hiring. So I'm not going to look too much into it.
No, but they're looking at other candidates, or at least going out their way and interviewing guys from other organizations. But I think Khan or Hunt do get promoted, and I want mine at one bit because they've been with the organization for a good bit. They've been under Colbert's wing for a long time.
Yeah,
and Khan's helped us a lot when it comes to our salary cap situations year by year. And Brandon Hunt, he knows how to scout players. He's actually was one of the main influencers to trade for Minka Fitzpatrick.
Yep. He's born and raised in Pittsburgh, so I think he's perfect, man.
So one of those guys, I will not mind one bit. I think they could be fine GMs for the Steelers.
Agreed.
It's going to be crazy seeing Kevin Colbert leave after all these years.
It's an end of an era, dude.
Like, bro, Ben retired. Keith Butler retired after being here for, 19 years?
It's the end of an era.
And now Kevin Colbert's about to retire as soon as the draft's over.
Yeah, man.
Wow.
Steelers should trade down in the draft. It makes sense. Get more picks, says Jay Underrated. Yeah, I agree. If some specific guys aren't there, or if there's guys they think they could still get later and get more picks at the same time, they should do it. They should definitely do it.
I definitely think they should consider it for sure.
Because they need more picks. It's Aiden Too Cool says, waiting for the USFL. Yeah, the Spring League coming back. USFL, the Pittsburgh Mall is going to be our team, man. I can't wait for it. Hopefully it succeeds like unlike the last 2 or 3 Spring Leagues, the AAF, what else was it?
The relaunch of the XFL.
The XFL. So hopefully it's a lot better than that. Bengals need a lot of Steelers needs also in free agency. Thoughts on Carson Strong? Statue. Not a fan.
I'm not a big fan of Carson Strong. I actually watched the Senior Bowl, and I thought he was the worst performing quarterback.
Really?
I thought everybody else did. Even the Zaley or Bailey guy, whatever that quarterback's name is, I thought Carson Strong was the worst.
Right.
And that interception he threw to Alontae Taylor, that was badly underthrown.
Yeah.
I am not a fan of Carson Strong one bit. I think he's nothing but a prime backup for the majority of his career.
Yeah, I agree.
That's just my opinion, though.
Thoughts on, draft Spencer Rattler in the first round? Not at all. No. If you're talking next year, no. I don't want Spencer Rattler. Do not want Spencer Rattler.
I haven't heard Spencer Rattler's name since he got benched.
Because he got benched and he transferred to I don't even know where because it doesn't matter. And he is one hell of a shitty teammate. So, not a fan. Not a fan of Spencer Rattler whatsoever, man.
No.
VR Higgs says, spend third on Jimmy, draft Linderbaum, J.C. Jackson signing, extend Juju and Fitzpatrick. If you're talking Jimmy Garoppolo, I'm not trading for Jimmy. I'm not even signing the guy.
No, I'd stay far away from Jimmy Garoppolo.
Not a fan of Jimmy. Not a fan of taking his $26 million cap hit if we were to trade for him. Not a fan.
And I don't think any team's going to want to trade for that. And the 49ers literally got nothing to lose if they were to cut him because they have nothing but $1 million dead cap space.
And as for J.C. Jackson, I would love that. That's another dream guy outside of Jensen. But let's be real. He's getting franchise tagged.
And I just don't think he leaves New England in general.
The Patriots will be stupid. They already got rid of Gilmore. They're going to get rid of their ball-hawking DB.
Who's still young.
It's just not happening.
And is already one of the best in the league. I can't see Jackson leaving.
I don't either. I think he's going to get tagged, man.
And I don't think the Patriots allow him to leave and settle with Juwan Williams and Sean Wade.
Right.
I don't think they do that. And another guy they may have. I don't think they do that.
Yeah, well, shit. Let's see where we're at. How do you feel about Trey Turner? I appreciate his efforts, but no thank you.
I would not resign him.
Yeah. What are your guys' thoughts on the offensive tackle from Northern Iowa? Wouldn't that be...
Isn't that Penning?
Trevor Penning.
Isn't that Trevor Penning from Iowa? Northern Iowa?
I believe. He's another option at 20, Trevor Penning.
I don't mind Trevor Penning. I really don't. I think he's an okay player. But I feel like there's some discipline problems with him.
That and posture issues. So,
Yeah.
I don't know if he's a full first rounder. I wouldn't draft him at 20. If he's there in second round, I'd consider it.
And I don't think he's a day one ready starter. That might just be me. That might just be my opinion. But I don't think he's a day one starter.
Well, most of the tackles after
the top three.
After Neal and Iquanu and Cross, they're all projects.
Yeah.
Thoughts on Jimmy G? We already said that, man. Already said that. Please tell me you don't like Trey Turner. Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel. Going all line without a franchise quarterback is ridiculous. I disagree. I think you got to build the trenches before getting your guy.
I'm not getting a franchise guy and having him run for his life. I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I'd rather build the trenches and build the team around the guy that you could get later.
Well, I'm not trying to go another Carson Wentz, Andrew Luck, a Joe Burrow, where they're beating the hell and, they have no way to succeed behind the line. So, I'm trying to build the line. Who do you guys think will be the next Steelers offensive line coach? Fingers crossed it's Munchak.
Yeah, seriously.
Fingers crossed it is Munchak, dude. Let's see. Ryan Jensen was with Baltimore. Was he? Was he with Baltimore?
Yeah, I think you might be right, yeah.
They need a genuine nose tackle, another stud backer, and a strong safety before they need a corner. We already have a strong safety. His name's Edmonds. I know a lot of people don't like Edmonds. I know a lot of people aren't in favor of resigning him. I'm resigning Edmonds 100%. He's one of the guys I put at the top of the priority list, as a matter of fact.
I don't think Teryl Edmonds walks.
He should not walk.
And he would not be that expensive either.
Well, who are you going to fill in? I mean, there's free agent safeties you could bring in. A Jordan Whitehead, a Jesse Bates come to mind immediately, but those are probably two guys that will be resigned by their respective teams just because those are two guys that do everything and is one of the guys that revolves around everything of what their respective defense does. Whitehead is a big machine in how the engine runs in Tampa under Todd Bowles. He's a great run defender. Him and Winfield go back and forth as the high safety, working in the box, working in the run defense. And Bates is the best DB in Cincinnati.
Yeah.
So I'm not letting Edmonds walk and gambling on these other guys in free agency. I am keeping Edmonds.
And honestly, like if Edmonds were to leave and you replace him with, because I don't think we get Whitehead and Bates because they're going to want a lot of money. They're going to be much more expensive than Terrell Edmonds, and we may want to use some of that money for another position, right? And if Edmonds leaves and you replace him with somebody that's not as good as Edmonds, you're having Minka do much more work than he already has done.
He's already the janitor of this defense.
He literally cleans up the mess that the defense can't do their job. They can't finish tackles. They can't stop the run. Minka's literally got to be the fucking guy. And if Edmonds were to leave, more likely you're having him be replaced by someone that's not as good, and Minka's got to do more work than he already has done, like I said.
So, unpopular opinion, at least that's how I think it is, but I'm keeping Edmonds.
And I don't think Edmonds is bad at all. I think he's actually slowly but surely developed into a fine safety. He doesn't make explosive plays. He doesn't make splashy interceptions.
Listen, you want to know what's the truth? If Edmonds wasn't a first rounder, he wouldn't get this much hate or this much criticism because I don't want to defer or compare criticism and hate because there's a difference.
Yeah.
And that's what a lot of people got to understand. There's a difference between hate and criticism. Just because you criticize a player doesn't mean you fucking hate them. It just means you're criticizing their play on the field. So I'm going to say the Edmonds hate is more so criticism. But Edmonds, man, I'm keeping him, bro. I'm keeping him.
He's a guy that's gotten better with his tackling, that is a good run stopper, and he's the guy that can cover the tight ends.
And run backs and flats if he has to. He works in the box really well as well.
And he complements Edmonds as well too.
So
Edmonds and Minka are a fine safety duo.
So I'm keeping Edmonds.
And Edmonds allows Minka. Edmonds takes care of his spot, and he allows Minka to do what Minka needs to do. If Edmonds leaves, Minka's got to do double the work. And Minka shouldn't have to do that. That's more work on Minka.
Right.
He's already doing enough. And thank God for Minka, but Jesus Christ, I don't want him to have to do more. I don't want him to have to be tired out.
Exactly.
To get injured because of how much work he's doing, I'm not risking that on Emmons.
Is TJ better than James Harrison? If he's not, he will be. If he's not,
he will be for sure.
You could say he is now, as a matter of fact. I'm being real. You guys doing the draft live again as DHunt28. That is the plan. That is the plan, man. I was bored this afternoon. I actually watched some of the Pro Bowl. It was a touch football game. I legit napped during the game. I didn't watch it. I said I was going to, but I fell asleep. S. Dresden with a $5 super chat says Austin hiring is fitting, as under Tomlin, the Steelers have become what the Bengals used to be.
Wow.
Ouch. Ouch, man.
That burns, but I don't disagree.
Who is the most underrated defensive back in Steelers history?
Oh, that's a damn good question right
History. There. DB. Okay.
What, like defensive back overall?
Defensive back.
See, there's some guys that you can throw in there.
There's a lot of guys you can throw in there.
There's what was his name?
There's Donnie Shell.
There's Donnie Shell for sure. There's Deshae Townsend. There's who was that other corner? Chad something. I can't remember his last name, but his first Chad Scott.
Chad
Scott was not a bad corner one bit. There was
Brian McFadden. His rookie year was really good.
Yeah, his rookie year was real
But
solid.
I wouldn't put him up there as all-time in Steelers history. It's underrated.
Cornell Lake.
I'd go Ryan Clark.
Ryan Clark, for
I'm
sure.
going my guy, Ryan Clark, number 25. If they miss on Pickett, Tomlin's toast, team is going to be horrible or awful, in my opinion. I think Tomlin will be just fine, depending on who the quarterback is.
I think it really all depends on what they do in free agency.
It does.
Whatever they do in free agency, that would give us more knowing of what the Steelers are going to do in the draft.
Right. Steel Cannon says, what's up, guys? Malik Willis season.
I don't mind Malik Willis. I wouldn't.
Listen,
I've grown on Malik Willis.
I can't deny his upside. He's raw. He's going to have to sit a little bit, but he is absolutely probably, when it comes to ceiling, the highest of all quarterbacks.
He might be the first quarterback taken because his stock is rising a lot. He had a great performance in the Senior Bowl. As far as scrambling goes, running the ball in practice. Like
I do like Willis. I don't know if he's going to be there, but I'm still going with my opinion. We need to focus on O-line. But again, hey, maybe they focus on O-line in free agency. Maybe they get a center or a right tackle or a guard, and we have the flexibility to go quarterback. I don't know.
Maybe we'll see.
Maybe
they want to build the offensive line in free agency and build the rest of the team through the draft, because the Steelers always do that in the draft. They build a team through the draft.
Right.
But you got to build the trenches in offensive line because that's got to be number one priority. What they say, screw it, let's just sign offensive line and get some depth guys while we're at it.
Yeah.
And then focus on the draft. That's what they could do. That's a possible option.
It could be. TJ Black Gamer says, what wide receiver would you sign in the offseason? I have to see what wide receivers are free agents. I'd have to see who's off. Because I didn't look at the wide receiver group yet.
Let's take a look at that right now. There's obviously Juju. We could very well extend him, but he's obviously going to want to see who could very well be the quarterback for us.
Because he's going to look at teams. There's Allen Robinson. That's not happening. Godwin's not happening. Adams isn't happening. Fuller, I won't trust his injury history. Crowder would be nice. I always thought Jamison Crowder was underrated. Let's see who else is there. Mike Williams. He's going to get a big contract somewhere. Let's see who else is there. Byron Pringle. I think the Chiefs bring him back. Deshaun Jackson. He's getting up there with age.
As far as veteran presence go, I wouldn't mind Jackson.
Christian Kirk would be solid. He could be a solid depth guy. Who else? Trying to look at the free agency list. DJ Chark could fit. DJ Chark.
Yeah, he may want to leave Jacksonville.
He's young. He didn't have a great year this year due to injury, so I doubt the Jags bring him back. DJ Chark. In fact, here's the funny part. James Washington was taken the pick right before DJ Chark. So right after Washington was taken by Pittsburgh, DJ Chark was the guy taken right after. How weird would it be? These two have the same free agency path, and the guy we drafted over Chark could be replacing Washington.
That's a possibility.
Think about that.
That's a possibility.
But because, DJ Chark, he's a big body, improved a lot every year, and obviously he has experience under Canada since he went to LSU.
Yeah.
DJ Chark could be an option. I would like a DJ Chark, honestly.
Oh, yeah, without a doubt. I would not mind him one bit.
But that's what I'm looking at right now. That's what I'm looking at right now is free agents.
Yeah, just a couple options out there for sure.
Yeah. You're right. Winston as bridge quarterback, strong in the second to sit and learn. First round lineman, get couple stud free agents. I wouldn't mind Winston as a bridge guy. I always liked Winston. I'm just not a fan of Strong. I'm not.
No, I'm not either.
He's a statue, and that's something that doesn't fit today's area of.
And it doesn't fit what Tomlin has been very outspoken about. He's not mobile.
Right.
He's not a mobile quarterback that can get out the pocket and extend plays.
Right.
He's a typical old school quarterback. He's a pocket passer.
Right.
That's something that Tomlin, I am sure, is trying to get out of.
Right. Exactly. Well, that's what you have to get out of now.
Yeah, nowadays, of course.
Rather go get Justin Reed from the Texans. Ironically, that's the guy I wanted over Edmonds that draft. I wanted Justin Reed.
And I like Justin Reed, but I think he might get a big payday too because he's like the only guy on that defense, at least to me, that's actually been pretty solid on the Texans.
Actually, I think he leaves Houston.
I wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be surprised one bit.
I'd gladly bring in Reed. I still like Reed. I was a big fan of him coming out. I think it was Stanford. I could be wrong on that, but
I think ultimately though the Steelers are going to look to try to extend Edmonds.
A Honey Badger would be great. Honey Badger, Tyrann Mathieu. I wish.
Absolutely.
That's a big payday though for us, Honey Badger. But him and Minka, holy shit! Imagine that.
Yeah, good luck trying to pass through that. Like my God.
What about Troy's nephew? Yeah, from what college did he go to?
Wasn't it USC?
I think so.
Was it USC? I think it is USC. Isaiah Pola Mao? Or Moa? Yeah.
Yeah. Yep. 6'4", son of a bitch.
He's a tall guy.
Yeah.
Bloodlines.
Could be a mid-round guy. I would love him as a dimebacker. I don't know if he's a replacement safety.
Replacement?
Not immediately.
Yeah.
Not immediately. Perhaps the O-line was not as poor as advertised, and Ben and Canada were bigger problems than some fans would like to expect. Well, I think the O-line was very poor. I think we can agree on that. Ben and Canada, for sure, had their issues last year. Where are we at? Teryl Edmonds doesn't get credit he deserves. Dependable guy, plays well. His first 20 yards from O-line and run defense. I like Edmonds, man. Mm-hmm. I bring him back. I think the Steelers do. You think we will be a better team this next season? I don't know. I can't say that right now because I don't know what the Steelers are going to do. You can't say that right now.
No, you really can. You can't really predict how many wins or losses the Steelers are going to have as well. It's really uncertain right now. It really is. But I think that's what just makes it just as interesting, if not more.
GT Show says, imagine if we took Mason with our first-round pick that year. Oh, God. Like how many fans wanted? Yeah, we're guilty. I ain't going to lie to you.
I ain't going to lie. I did expect a little bit more from Mason. But it's just him transferring to the NFL level, it just didn't work out. He was very good in Oklahoma State.
Yeah.
Very good. It's just when it comes to the NFL, some guys just don't – they can't handle the transfer mode.
Right.
Ultimately, he didn't. But hey, he's got his opportunity to start.
He will get his opportunity, like it or not. Our first pick in the draft needs to be Senator Tyler Linderbaum from Iowa. I agree. If he's there, that's my guy. That is my guy. I don't care what quarterback's on the board, and I'm dead ass on that.
That's a natural center.
That's my guy.
That's a natural center, and depending on free agency, if you do not get center, well, you got to fill that position. You got to get the man in the middle.
Yeah. CJ Stroud, quarterback for 2023, telling you this draft should build up the trenches. I agree. Now, that would have to require a trade-up unless we have a pretty poor year, but, hey, that's for the next GM to focus on.
Yeah, it does.
And you know what? Why not, right? I know Ohio State quarterbacks don't have a lot of great success, but Stroud, man, he's different. He's just like Justin Reed, man. They're different. Justin Reed, Justin Fields.
Mm-hmm.
Unlike Harrison, though, TJ is our lone stud backer. How does that happen in Pittsburgh? Well, give Alex Highsmith some time. Give Highsmith some time.
Mm-hmm.
JT Thomas, most underrated, played next to Mel Blount 4 Super Bowls. You're right. JT Thomas, forgot about him.
Of course.
And, of course, a Mike Wagner as well. You're right. Let's see where we at in the chat. Stop screwing TJ Watt, DPOY. Yeah, you're right. Hashtag stop robbing TJ. In fact, that's a video that will be premiering tomorrow at what time? Noon. At noon, man. I'll put that link in the chat so you guys can get the bell on, the like on, and all that. So
You'll be premiered at noon. We discuss why.
TJ Watt should stop being robbed and get DPOY.
I mean, it's a no-brainer, right?
That's enough. It's
a no-brainer, right?
I would hope so. I mean, enough is enough, okay? You got to stop robbing the guy.
Third time's a charm. He's already a 2-time uncrowned Defensive Player of the Year. Third time's got to be the charm.
Yeah. I mean, he should have already had 1 or 2 by now, but, I guess not.
I mean, you don't tie Michael Strahan's record and not get it. Like, that's mind-boggling to me.
Right.
That would be mind-boggling to me.
I got my Wi-Fi back, so I'm excited to make more content. It's the GT show. Well, there you go, GT.
That's awesome.
Glad you got the Wi-Fi back on. We're probably going to switch our Wi-Fi pretty shortly here. I'm still thinking about it, but, we haven't had any issues so far, knock on wood, on this stream. But, I want better internet. I don't trust Xfinity internet. I don't give a damn. Not sold on the odds of winning a Super Bowl with a scramble drill quarterback. Patrick Mahomes and Steve Young, to a degree, are the only ones to ever do it. Hard pass on Willis. We would just be the Ravens.
Damn.
At this point in the and I'm not saying we should get Willis. I still think we should go O-line. But
Ultimately, yes.
in this league, you need a guy that can scramble. I'm not saying get a run-first guy.
Like a Michael Vick, no.
Like, I don't want a run-first guy. I want someone that is equipped enough to scramble outside the pocket, escape plays, or run and move the chains if he has to. A guy like a Joe Burrow, a Justin Herbert, a Derek Carr, guys like that. A Ben in his prime. Or Ben in his young days, actually.
A Josh Allen, how Patrick Mahomes has done.
Like, I want a guy like that. I'm not looking for a run-first guy. I'm looking for someone that can scramble. But
yeah, I don't want a guy that just because he's pressured literally 5 feet away from him, he's got to run and be flashy.
yeah, I'm not looking for a guy that senses pressure and says, fuck, I'm running. I'm not looking for a guy where Deontay Johnson's wide open by 20 yards and the dude just runs it. I'm not looking for a guy where the running back is open in the fucking short route on the dump off and he just runs it. Not looking for a guy like that.
No, of course.
I want a smart quarterback that is eligible to escape pressure and scramble when he needs to, when it calls for it, not just because he wants to and not because he's looking for the highlight reel. That's how I'm looking at it.
No, I agree 100%.
We should go after Justin Reed. If Edmonds walks, that's a guy I'm definitely trying to lock up, is Justin Reed.
Mm-hmm.
Again, that's a guy. That's who I wanted over Edmonds that year. Really, I did. So if Edmonds goes, I'll take Reed. He'll probably be the cheapest option, and still play at a good level.
Oh yeah,
Cordell Stewart was before his time. He's perfect for today's game. Cordell Stewart was way ahead of his time, way ahead.
Yeah, dude, man.
Slash was my first jersey.
You still got it. You still wear it. It's actually a kid-sized.
And I'm never getting rid of it.
No. Why would you? It's your first jersey.
I'm not getting rid of it. Not at all. Tyler's there, then take him focus on next year's CJ Stroud. I'm all for that. So when can we do some mock collabs? After the Super Bowl, man. Our first mock will be up after the Super Bowl.
Oh, yeah, for sure, bro. For sure.
Tomlin and KC and the quarterback coach all met with Willis and his family at the Senior Bowl. You're right. Again, here's the pictures.
Right there.
There's Malik Willis in the red jersey. There's Matt Cannon in his bald head. There's Mike Tomlin, and there's Kevin Colbert. And they did meet with Willis's family, so.
Yeah, so obviously they're heavily interested in the guy.
And then there's Mike Sullivan shaking hands with Kenny Pickett. Of course, they're going to keep an interest on a lot of the quarterbacks at Mobile. And at the Combine and at Pro Days. They're looking at all options.
Oh, yeah, I mean, it's a no-brainer. It's a no-brainer one bit.
But there's a lot of, the Steelers aren't good at keeping secrets.
No?
At who they really like.
Not at all.
So, Malik Willis could be a guy. I'm starting to think it would require a trade-up, which I'm not doing for anybody. I'm not trading up for anybody this year. because we don't have the capital for it. Definitely not. How do you guys feel about Zion Johnson? He's a huge Steelers fan and dominated at the Senior Bowl. Also, Travis Jones and Darian Beavers. I like all those guys. Beavers is a guy we're definitely going to scout for sure because Cincinnati is the same college as Desmond Ridder. They're going to look at Ridder. They're going to look at Beavers for sure. Travis Jones had an incredible Senior Bowl, so he's going to rise his stock. He could be a D-line guy we could draft, although I would grab a D-line guy in free agency. I'm not going to rule out D-linemen in the draft if Tua don't come back. And Zion Johnson could definitely be an option at 20.
Very well could be, absolutely.
Very versatile guy. And Boston College, again, I'm going to point this out because I think it's serious to report because it could lead to many picks down the road. The same college that Mike Tomlin's kid just transferred to is Boston College. So they're going to keep an eye out on that.
Oh, for sure, without a doubt.
And Zion Johnson's a guy we're going to have to look at for sure. Philip says mock collabs. Definitely, man. Definitely. Just hey, hit us up on Discord. Let us know when, dude. No way you can deny TJ this year. If so, drop damn award. They already did twice. Alvin Kamara just got arrested. What the fuck did he do? Alvin Kamara just got arrested. We're on Twitter right now. What happened?
Are you serious?
Huh? Texans are now what? Huh?
This is from Adam Schefter. Texans are now in talks with their associate head coach and defensive coordinator, Lovie Smith, about potentially becoming their next head coach.
Lovie Smith?
I said Lovie.
What?
Okay.
Lovie Smith is your head coach. The Texans are so fucking stupid. But yeah, Alvin Kamara just got arrested for battery, resulting in substantial bodily harm. What the fuck? According to Las Vegas. On February 5th, 2022, at approximately 5:50 p.m., Las Vegas Police Department patrol officers were dispatched to a local hospital where a person was reporting a battery. The victim reported being battered at a nightclub located in the 3500 block of South Las Vegas Boulevard. The investigation by Las Vegas Police Department detectives determined the victim was battered by the suspect, later identified as Alvin Kamara. He was located and taken into custody without incident on February 6, 2022, which is today. Kamara was transported to the Clark County Detention Center where he was booked for battery resulting in substantial bodily harm.
Now, hold on. Did he play in the Pro Bowl today? Did he?
Hold on. What? Was he a Pro Bowler?
I believe he was, yeah. I think. If I'm not mistaken, I think he was playing in the Pro Bowl or he made the Pro Bowl.
Did he? Because I can't fucking recall. Why the hell would he make the Pro Bowl this year? He did.
Did he or did he not?
He did make the Pro Bowl.
He did make the Pro Bowl. Then he definitely played in it.
Well, I'll be damned.
So if I'm correct, Kamara played in the Pro Bowl today, and shortly after he got arrested.
So you tell me,
because this is coming out now. If he was arrested before he played, that would came up before the Pro Bowl even aired.
Now time out, because it says on February 5th that's when the incident occurred.
Yeah, which was last night.
So you're telling me yesterday, Kamara pulled off this bullshit and then played at the Pro Bowl and then got arrested? If that's the case,
I'm assuming the suspect didn't press the charges until.
What the fuck?
Until today,
What the fuck? See, I didn't watch the Pro Bowl, so I didn't know. So you're telling me he pulled this shit off yesterday, played the game, and then got
arrested,
cuffed? What the fuck?
Without incident.
How fucking weird is that? That's some creepy shit.
Kamara, what the fuck?
The Saints, man, they're at a downward spiral. Breeze retired.
Payton's retired.
And now their star running back just got arrested for battery.
I don't know where that's going to go. I don't know if charges will be dropped or if he's actually going to be having charges pressed against him. I have no idea.
It's the NFL offseason, folks. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. I remember because TJ had to two-hand touch him to tackle him.
Yeah. That was one of the first plays of the game. Kamara, what the fuck?
He just played. The fuck? Dexum Time says with the 199 super chat, y'all think we should trade to it. If he's not coming back, well, here's the thing. If he's not coming back, he's not going to play in general. If he's coming back, we're going to keep him.
Yeah.
Simple as that. But you're telling me this man... Oh, let me read that again just so I'm not... Here, actually, I'll put it up on Twitter.
That's not it.
There you go. There you go. Yeah, that is right there. What the fuck?
Wow. The investigation is still ongoing. Anyone with any information about this incident is urged to contact. Wow.
Who did this? Who did this? They have to stop. What is this, the longest yard?
Wow.
What is this, the longest yard, man? They have got to stop. The internet is undefeated.
That ain't right. That ain't freaking right, man.
Wow. I don't believe this. It's the NFL offseason, though. It is the NFL offseason. Anything can go down. What in the hell? I didn't anticipate that hitting my newsfeed. I'll tell you that.
No, I did not. Jesus Christ. Like, what the hell? Isn't there a saying for Vegas? Whatever happens in Vegas stays in Vegas?
Yeah, well, apparently not.
Camaro will be saying for quite a bit.
Son of a hell. Wow. I did not anticipate that tonight. Well,
No.
How about that, folks? Saints running back got arrested. They need to stay out of trouble. Yeah, you're right, Vincent. Yeah. I don't know what's up with these football players. God almighty. How ironic it's in Las Vegas, the same place as the Raiders.
I'm actually waiting for the footage to come out because nowadays when an incident happens, there's always camera footage or someone recording, and then like days later the footage comes out.
Well,
So I'm actually waiting for the footage to come out. There's bound to be some sort of footage.
Well, somewhere. It depends.
Yeah, because it's at a nightclub.
At a nightclub located at 3500 block of South Las Vegas Boulevard.
So there's got to be either security cameras or people literally took out their phones and recorded the incident.
You tell me this motherfucker did this shit last night or yesterday afternoon specifically because it was reported as of 5:50 p.m. So this happened yesterday afternoon.
He did the incident, went to sleep, woke up, put on the uniform, got touched by T.J. Watt, and pretty much got arrested hours later.
Wow.
Jesus Christ.
Wow.
Camara, wow.
I'm speechless, dude. How ironic it happens in Vegas. The same place as the Raiders, man. God, Vegas can never stay out of trouble. Take Linderbaum round 1, hashtag Dwayne Haskins season. Says GT Show. Not opposed, bro. Not opposed.
No, I'm not.
I'm going into this season just looking at gap guys. I'm not looking for the long-term future. I'm not thinking of the long-term future. That's why I'm not thinking of quarterback thus far yet.
No, okay, I'm not rushing it right now.
Now, just because we say that doesn't mean we're not going to put a quarterback in our mocks this upcoming mock draft season.
Yeah, lead up to the draft.
But in my opinion, I'm not looking at quarterback getting the future this year. I'm looking at a gap guy.
And we can still be competitive with a gap guy.
We can be.
If we fill some of the positions that we need to, if not all. And let's not forget, Tomlin went 8-8 with Mason Rudolph and Devlin Hodges.
Yes.
And we still had a stacked team. We just had those guys in at QB.
Yeah.
Tomlin can still be competitive. Matter of fact, we're always competitive no matter who we got at quarterback.
Yeah.
I mean, Bill Cowher didn't have a franchise guy for how many years until his final 3 years as head coach?
Because he relied on Bettis in the defense.
And he was still competitive. He still made the playoffs.
Hell, even before Bettis, he had Barry Foster and however many other backs. Who's the other dude? Bam Morris.
So we can still be competitive even with a gap guy.
That's how I'm looking at it.
We'll still compete. We'll still try to fight for a playoff spot. I don't expect much.
Well, that's
we can still be competitive.
Here's the thing. That's the best thing about next year, though, is you don't know what to expect.
Yeah.
Plus, it's going to be a fun ride. I ain't going to lie to you guys. The last time I seriously had a bunch of fun as a Steelers fan watching a whole season was actually 2019. Because when Ben went down, I didn't know what to expect. So when certain shit happened and the defense started to rise, and then we started winning games and all this was happening, I was having fun. I was enjoying myself because after Ben went down, I just went like, well, whatever happens, happens. And I was enjoying myself because we started seeing the upbringing of the defense and seeing some spark from the offense. Not a lot, but, with the offense.
Guys here and there, from Johnson's rookie season and guys like that.
And Washington leading the team in
receiving
yards, for fuck's sake. So that was a fun factor. 2020, we went 11-0, but it was very stressful. And last year,
non-convincing either.
And last year, last year was last year.
Yeah.
So this year, I'm kind of going into it the same way. As of right now, it could change depending on what we do this offseason. But as of right now, I'm going into this upcoming 2022 NFL Steelers season the same way I went into 2019 after Ben went down. Whatever happens, happens. And
honestly, yes.
I'm going to try to enjoy it because it's unpredictable. As a Jets fan, I hope Robert can be the next Mike Tomlin. We want consistency like the Steelers, which is why I have a lot of respect for y'all.
Now, I think your coach has a lot of what's the word I'm looking for?
Potential.
Yeah, thank you.
No, because
as Jets head coach,
not every head coach is gonna have a great first year. Look at Zach Taylor, for fuck's sake. This man had 2 down years, and now he's gonna be coach of the year, as he should be, rightfully so.
He got the Bengals back to the Super Bowl
after Marvin Lewis couldn't do it in 7 playoff appearances. He couldn't even give him 1 playoff victory when he had Palmer, Chad Ochocinco, TJ fucking bastard douchebag. I'm not going to say his name because, you don't downgrade the towel like that. Jeremy Fucktard Hill, who fumbles the ball with 10 seconds left in the game. Not really 10 seconds, but you might as well.
He had Leon Hall. He had look at that Jonathan. What was it? Jonathan Joseph or something?
Look at the 2015 Bengals year, right? They had a great offense.
Yeah.
They had
AJ Green.
Dalton in his best year. AJ Green. You had Mohamed Sanu. You had Marvin Jones. You had Tyler Eifert in his best year. What an offense. You had Jeremy Hill. What an offense.
Giovanni Bernard as the 1-2 punch.
Only go one and done.
Marvin Lewis failed those Bengals.
And seeing what Zach Taylor has done in his 3rd year.
His first playoff appearance as Bengals head coach.
So, coaches aren't going to have immediate success. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, I think the head coach of the Jets, give him time. I think he'll build a decent team. I think so.
Yeah, Robert Saleh, I think that's how you pronounce his last name. I think he has a lot of potential as Jets head coach.
I think the AFC East is in for some really fun years. It's no longer the Patriots running the East for 20 years. The Bills are top of the division. Patriots are going to remain competitive. The Jets are upcoming, and the Dolphins, I don't know. They just picked up Mike McDaniel as their head coach. I really like McDaniel. That was the guy I was looking at to be the OC last year because he's a run-heavy guy, and he was the OC for the Niners. Now, I know he doesn't really call a lot of the plays. That's more Kyle Shanahan, but he's a guy that built himself up via promotion and then now just became a head coach.
Yeah.
He's an offensive mastermind. He'll do wonders for Tua's future.
And the Dolphins in general.
And they already have a very nice defense. So the AFC East is in for some really good years.
For sure.
I'm excited for it, man. I'm excited for the upcoming new era of football. Ben's gone. Brady's gone. Breeze is gone. Soon Rodgers will be gone. Rivers is gone. Who else?
Dane's been gone.
Who else?
Eli's been gone. Like, bro, that's our childhood.
This isn't cool.
That's the guys we grew up watching and idolizing and loved to watch play and we're excited to see play, especially in primetime games.
This getting old thing isn't cool. All my childhood...
we got a lot of great guys, that can fill that void for the next 10, 15 years.
All my childhood guys are just retiring.
Literally. It's truly an end of an era.
Literally, all I have left is Aaron Rodgers. Who else?
That's practically it.
Practically,
You want to throw Ryan Fitzpatrick in there? Go on ahead.
No, I'm not throwing him in there. Who else? What other receivers? Larry Fitz isn't playing anymore because he's not officially retired, but I guess I'll put him in there. Adrian Pearson isn't officially retired yet. Some of these,
Frank Gore.
This isn't cool.
No, it's not.
This isn't fun anymore. But I'm excited for the new era of football, man. Look at Jareth Stern's stats. Will be a late round steal. Western Michigan. Jareth Stearns. Jeff Stearns, 5'9". Is he a speedy guy? Because when I look at receivers this upcoming draft, I'm looking for a guy with speed. A Calvin Austin, a Bo Melton, a, what's his name? Sky Moore, a Wandale Robinson.
Right.
Holy shit, almost 2,000 yards. Son of a bitch.
17 touchdowns. Out of Western Kentucky.
I said Michigan. Yeah, Kentucky, you're right. Could be a guy, yeah, for sure.
It's pretty crazy. Like, that many stats. Like, wow.
Mm-hmm. Steelers fan, I like Braxton Berrios so great. Punt returner, kick returner. Yeah, I'd bring in Berrios if Ray Ray were to leave, but I doubt Ray Ray leaves. Ray Ray is for sure one of the guys that's going to come back. I can guarantee you that. Throwback to the time the Chargers had number 1 rated offense and defense and still missed the playoffs. I don't know how that's possible.
Their special teams was awful. Their special teams was god-awful.
I figured with the number 1 defense and offense, you don't need a fucking special team.
Special teams matters. Special teams matters. Really matters.
Man. Steelers should have moved on from Tomlin, brought in O'Connell from the Rams, and stopped hiring. Well, they weren't going to do that. They weren't going to do it. Tomlin's going to remain with the team at least until 2024.
Yeah. Tomlin's not going anywhere.
I just wish he'd get new coordinators, that's all. He'd go out his way and give these guys some freedom.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Hayward's brother as a tight end running back Swiss Army knife?
Connor Hayward.
Connor Hayward from, where's he from?
Is it
Notre Dame?
No, I don't think it's Notre Dame. What the hell is that college? I don't think it's not Michigan.
Where's he from? No, it's not Notre Dame. I'm sorry. It's Michigan State.
That's what it was, Michigan State, yeah. Yeah, running back, fullback, tight end guy.
I'll tell you right now, Connor Hayward is guaranteed to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. He probably won't get drafted, but he'll definitely be brought in as undrafted free agent. Maybe we do take him with one of our last few picks, just so we can secure
which
him.
I can see.
But Connor Hayward for sure is going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler. I can guarantee you that. And I'd bring him in as a fullback. He's too undersized to play tight end. He'd be a nice fullback.
Oh, fullback in the NFL, absolutely. He's pretty athletic too. Like he's a pretty big he's a big body guy, but he's pretty athletic.
Yeah, I think Connor Hayward's going to be a Pittsburgh Steeler for sure. Now I don't know where he's going to. He'll probably see a lot of time with special teams.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
We don't even use our own fullback. Derek White, like he's still stuck at Subway, honestly. Hayward, he'll probably be a lot of special teams, but that's where he'll get his feet wet. Bringing Hines Ward as offensive line coach. Bringing Hines Ward as our fucking guard, he'll do a lot more better blocking than the guys we got now. I'll tell you that right now. I'll bring him in as wide receiver coach. I always wanted to do that. If we draft a wide receiver, what do you think of Jahan Dotson for Penn State? I wish. He would be a nice second-round steal.
I like Jahan Dotson a lot.
But he's not going to make it there. I wish, if that's the case, because I know receiver might be a position we're going to have to take at some point. It could be early, if you want to be, because I don't know if we're going to pick up a receiver. Juju Washington could be gone. Thus, you're looking at Ray, because I think he's coming back. You're looking at Ray, Johnson, Claypool. That's it.
So getting a wide receiver in the draft is a big possibility. And like I said earlier, there's a lot of guys in the draft, like for wide receiver, it's pretty stacked. Like I said, David Bell. There's Drake London. There's Jahan Dotson. Like, there's guys that could potentially fall down to us if we were to get a day 2 guy. Because the Steelers love their day 2 selections. I could absolutely see a day 2 wide receiver.
Dotson would be the dream in day 2 if we fill in the needs, but I doubt so. Can we pick up J.C. Jackson, please? Again, I think he's getting tagged. If not, I'm definitely putting him at the top of the must-grab list. Him and Ryan Jensen. Those are the 2 big splashes I'm making.
Yeah, sure.
But I think he's getting tagged. Let's see. Connor's a stud. We will take him. I agree. Lamar Jackson had 2,882 passing yards, 16 touchdowns before he got hurt, but he won a run. Get the fuck out of here. That's Lamar, man. In addition, both new Dolphins head coach and Robert Saleh are from the Shanahan coaching tree. You're right. You are very right. Saleh worked under as a DC for Shanahan, and Mike McDaniel was the run game coordinator and then the OC for Kyle Shanahan.
So now they're going to be rivals. They're going to be meeting each other 2 times a year now.
The AFC East getting exciting, which means the Dolphins could use your system, which is extremely frustrating. Tomlin is a megalomaniac. He will not allow an exceptional coach to be hired at either coordinator position. No, he won't. That's one of his issues. That's one of the few complaints we have for Tomlin, honestly.
Yeah.
Yo, Dan, if Watson became our quarterback, we'd set for the next 15 years, and we're bringing rings back. I agree. Until the baggage is cleared, I'm not touching Watson. If only Ward wasn't with the Jets, I know.
I know he was with the Jets. Isn't he with a college team now for a wide receiver coach?
Florida Atlantic.
Yeah, that's right.
Interview him. I know we got Ike Hilliard, but interview him. Bring back Ward.
Maybe if Hilliard leaves.
Bring back Ward. That's my guy. So that's my favorite Steeler of all time. And I guarantee you, when he gets into Hall of Fame, which I don't know when that'll be, it could be the same year as Ben. I don't think it should take that long, but when he goes into the Hall of Fame, I'm making the trip down there. I don't care how much it costs. I don't care what it's gonna have to take. I'm going down there. It's my favorite Steeler of all time. So I grew up watching. That's the man I idolized. I'm going to his Hall of Fame speech. I'll tell you that right now. I'm already getting teary-eyed thinking about it. Fucking hell.
Number 86 was something different.
Man, I cried for Cowher. I definitely cried for Polamalu. I cried for Faneca. I cried for Shell. Imagine what I'm going to do for Ward. Fuck me.
Like, I don't think Ward gets as much appreciation as he should. Like, he wasn't a speedy guy. He wasn't the tallest guy. He wasn't the most flashy guy.
Boy, could he play, though.
He could play. He could catch. He could run routes like any other wide receiver. The guy could block. The guy could hit. The guy would smile in front of you and just laugh in your face. And say, I'm a fucking fuck you up.
He knew how to have a good time, man. He knew how to play. Why is Colbert drafting our future and then he's done? Make no sense. What the fuck? I don't know if he does draft our future. He might give that opportunity to the next guy in line. I don't know. Or maybe he does pull an Eric DaCosta and he drafts the future and then, well, not Eric DaCosta. Who was their GM before?
I can't remember the name.
Ozzie Newsome.
There you go.
Maybe he pulls an Ozzie Newsome and then selects the quarterback, and then Eric DaCosta builds everything else around. I don't know. Maybe that's what they do.
Maybe. I don't know.
Draft Kobe Bryant. I don't mean the late Kobe. I know, yeah, Kobe Bryant from Cincinnati.
Yeah, great talent, great corner.
I love him in the second or third round, man. Give me Ritter at quarterback. Yeah, I know the love for Pickett and Willis, but Ritter showed me enough to know he's going to be good. I really like Ritter. He's one of my favorites.
Yeah, and he's another guy that stood out a lot in the Senior Bowl.
If we were to take a quarterback, I wouldn't mind a quarterback day 2. And that could be a Ritter, a Howe, maybe a Willis if he drops for some reason, which I don't think it's happening. He's already risen in stock enough.
Yeah.
I wouldn't mind a quarterback round 2. I wouldn't. But going to Ritter, he's from Cincinnati. They're going to really keep an eye on a lot of the Cincinnati guys.
Yeah, they're going to really look at that school.
There's a lot of guys from that school that could fill in positions of need that we have. And the Steelers love to double dip on colleges. They've done it since 2017, if I'm correct. They did it with Tennessee in 2017 when they took Cam Sutton and Josh Dobbs. 2018 when they took Washington and Rudolph. 2019 when they took Bush and Gentry. 2020 when they took Anthony McFarland and Antoine Brooks. And 2021 when they took Dan Moore and Buddy Johnson.
So it's bound to happen again this year.
They're going to double dip somewhere.
That streak's going to continue.
That could be Cincinnati. That could be Boston College. That could be, I don't know where else. Ohio State, maybe.
Potentially. I don't know.
It could be Texas A&M again. I don't know.
Maybe.
Where are we at? I say they use Claypool as part of the package to move up for Pickett if necessary and pick up dubs in the mid-rounds. I think they'll keep Claypool. I'm not opposed to trading Claypool. I listen to offers, but I doubt they trade him.
Yeah.
People forget the Ravens were 8-3 before Lamar got hurt. Yeah, you're right. They were top of the AFC.
And when Lamar got hurt, they lost every single game.
What about Devonta Adams and Derek Carr? Yeah, imagine those two come back together. A lot of history in college.
And the Raiders, they need a number one.
They do, but I think he's referring to us grabbing him.
I don't know about that. I really don't.
Hey, think about this. Okay? Devonta Adams is a free agent. Okay? Juju Washington and Ray walk. Imagine that. Okay? We pick up Devonta Adams. With what? I don't know. But we pick up Devonta Adams. Derek Carr is a free agent 2023. And I'm going to be real with you. I wouldn't mind picking him up. But 2023, we pick up Derek Carr.
You get that duo back together
exactly.
as Steelers. Possible.
That's not happening.
Possible.
I'm being sarcastic, but
let's be real. Adams is going to get over $100 million.
You think?
Yes. Why wouldn't he?
Hold on.
Why wouldn't he? Are you kidding me?
I'm curious. Who's the highest paid wide receiver? It's probably
I think that's Hopkins.
Hopkins, over $27 million a year.
Let's not forget, Michael Thomas got exactly $100 million for the extended with the Saints.
Fucking shit.
A guy like Devontae Adams, who's consistent week by week, who's so dynamic, who literally burns every cornerback that's covering him. Yeah. Adams is getting over $100 million. I am predicting that right now.
Yeah, I don't know who's going to pay him, but it ain't going to be us. I'll tell you that right now.
I mean, shoot, just about any top player is getting over $100 million nowadays.
Was that knowledge just off the top? Yes, it was. Yeah. If you're talking about us double dipping in colleges, yeah, that's just off the top. Yeah. It happens.
He literally has that in synced in his memory like every bad defensive back we had.
Hey, I can be here all night talking about it. Can Hilliard and bring in Hines? I wish. I really wish.
Maybe in the future. Maybe if Hilliard wants to take off for somewhere else.
Hey, they brought in old players as position coaches before. Porter, the current linebackers coach, Carnell Lake. I mean, they've done it many times.
Yeah, they have.
So I'd totally bring him in as wide receiver coach. We can't risk Ritter being gone in the second. We have to snatch him. Well, in that case, we'd have to snatch him in the first, and Ritter is not a first-round pick.
No, he's definitely not. He's definitely a day two guy, in my opinion.
They weren't the number one seed when Lamar got hurt. I thought they were. They were 8-3.
Yeah, they were the number one seed when we faced them the first time at Heinz Field. That was when Lamar got hurt, and they lost every single game since.
That's why they went for it on that 2-point conversion, where obviously Lamar missed Mark Andrews because T.J. Watt was all up in his face. But they went for it because, of course, Harbaugh was ballsy, but also because at that point they had nothing to lose because the AFC wasn't as stacked until
it wasn't as competitive at the time.
So that's why they went for it. They were still number one.
Yeah, and ever since then, they just lost every single game.
Yeah. If we get a quarterback, he shouldn't be playing this year. I actually agree.
Yeah, I agree.
Matt Corral was the best quarterback in this draft. Maybe his injury can allow him to fall to us. That could happen. I keep forgetting he got hurt at the end of the season, man. That's unfortunate.
And Corral's not a bad quarterback at all. I think he's a solid option for any quarterback needy team.
I've also heard complaints that, concerns that he was a product of the system.
That might be the case.
I don't know, man. I don't know. Some of these quarterbacks, I don't know.
And when you look at them, like some of these guys have a lot of upside, but they're not exactly outside of maybe Kenny Pickett to me because I think he's a day one starting guy.
Right.
Outside of him, nobody else is a day one starter.
Right.
They have that upside, but as far as like franchise guys go, like that might be stretching it. Like it's kind of weak. But their stocks are definitely rising.
Yeah. Tony Daniel II says with a $5 super chat, guys, what are the odds Sauce or Dean falls to us? I think Nakobe Dean will be there. Unless the Eagles take him, but it's either between Nakobe Dean or Devin Lloyd. Which one they go?
They probably go the second best option because they took Rager over Jefferson.
At that point, Rager wasn't the second best option. He was like the seventh best option.
To them, he was the best option. But yeah, he wasn't the second best option. That's why I'm saying they may just go the the next best option in their opinion.
Nakobe Dean could be there at 20. I don't know if we go linebacker round 1, especially since it's stacked. So you could get a guy pretty second round, third round, maybe fourth round, honestly.
Potentially.
Because it's so stacked, linebacker is. Sauce, I don't know if he'll be there. I don't know.
He could very well go top 20.
But corner's another position that's pretty stacked that we could get a guy late.
Maybe.
Where we at? I would rather hire Larry Foote as DC than Austin. What's Larry Foote doing? Isn't he with the Bucks?
Yeah, he's a linebackers coach, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, he's a current linebackers coach for the Buccaneers.
Yeah.
Outside linebackers coach.
Outside linebackers coach. That's what it is.
Outside linebackers coach. Coral is built like a high school player, and Ritter is likely a turnover machine at league level, in my opinion. So if we go with Mason, why would get rid of Washington? There's still some hope with that combination. Your thoughts? Yeah, I mean, you got that connection, but Washington wants playing time, and he's not guaranteed that in Pittsburgh.
Especially if we bring Juju back and or Ray back. Washington's not going to get as much playing time because when Juju went down, we all thought Washington was going to get the playing time under Matt Canada in the offense. He didn't. He rarely saw playing time.
Washington just is not going to see the field in Pittsburgh, and that's unfortunate because Washington is underutilized. So he should go somewhere where he will get utilized and give the chance to, prove his worth.
Yeah. And I don't blame him. We're not using him to the best of his ability. We're not using him to his best traits. And you know damn well he's going to want to go to a team that's wide receiver needy and that could use him to the best of their ability.
Yeah.
And I wish Washington the best because I truly think he does leave.
Austin is only there to be the fluffer for Tomlin. Pretty much. That's why they have the in-house hirings, man.
Yeah, I mean, as of now, like I said earlier, he's a fall guy,
right.
At least in my opinion.
Mason might take us all the way if we don't trade up. I wouldn't give Mason that much praise. I think he'll do solid. I think he gets too much unnecessary hate, and I don't know where the hell it comes from. I don't know how people say he's worse than Duck. How the fuck can you say Mason?
Well, he's worse than Landry Jones.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know where most of the hate comes from. He's not the future by any means, but I think he's solid. If we were to run with Mason next year, it wouldn't be that bad in my opinion, especially since we have Najee to fall back on. We boost the line, fix up corner, linebacker, maybe D-line depth on defense. They remain healthy. I think we can still remain competitive.
Of course, yeah.
Mike Tomlin went 8-8 with Duck and Mason, and that was when the defense was just resurging, and the offense had a buttload of injuries everywhere.
Yeah. And that year, it literally took us the last week 17, to be eliminated from playoff contention. Realistically, we should have been eliminated by week 11.
Yeah.
We were still in contention till the last week.
Dan's nightmares. Will Allen, Ross Cockrell, Cody Sensabaugh, Mike Mitchell, Sean Davis, Jordan. You forgot Antoine Blake. You forgot.
No, it's Valentino.
You
Blake.
forgot Cortez Allen. You forgot Bryce McCain. You forgot.
There he goes.
God. Who do I want to go with? Who do I want to name next?
Brandon Boykin.
Brandon fucking Boykin. Yeah, you got him. You got. Who was another dude we started over? I'm trying to think.
So we went all the way down the list to
scrape the bottom of the barrel.
We could start the janitor if we had to. The
God
ball boy.
Almighty. God almighty.
That's how bad and desperate we were.
That was bad. Some dark years, man.
Those were the days.
We had William Gay starting outside. Wow. That was some dark years, bro. God almighty. I'm so grateful for what we had. We didn't succeed with it, but I'm still grateful.
It overshadows those bad memories for sure.
Oh, it definitely does. Thank God. Oh, thank God. I still don't believe in Malik Willis. You can say that with a lot of quarterbacks. That's why this quarterback room's a little iffy. Landry Jones led the NFL in interceptions. I think you're right.
At one point, yeah, he might have.
I think you're right.
I mean, dude, he didn't even succeed in the XFL.
Yeah, the Dallas Renegades. God.
He did not succeed.
I saw him run one play. I swear it was like a turtle in mud.
I think I know what play you're talking about.
God, it was so bad to watch. I was laughing. I was like, that's who we had backing up, Ben? Like, wow, bro. Like, wow. All right, I'm going to go down to, oh, yeah, remember Robert Golden?
Oh.
All right, you know what? Because we've been streaming for almost 2 hours, I think this is how we're going to close it, man. I'm going to go down the list of corners we had that, we had start before we had what we had, in recent years. Will Allen, Antoine Blake, William Gay, Robert Golden, Bryce McCain, Mike Mitchell, Shamarko Thomas, remember him? Ross Ventrone, who was the Polamalu lookalike on special teams just because of his long hair, and B.W. Webb. That's just from 2014. 2015, we had pretty much the same group of guys. That was when Polamalu, that was the first year Polamalu was in retirement. That's when we had Boykin, Cockrell, Golden, Mitchell again, Thomas again, Allen again. We did little to improve. How do you lose Troy Polamalu and your best bet is Will Allen?
Awful. That was absolutely awful. Like, what the hell were they thinking? What the hell were they thinking?
And then they're like, you know what? Okay. Our defense fucking sucks, so we're going to go defense the first 3 picks. First 3 picks turned out to be Artie Burns, Sean Davis, and Javon Hargrave. Only one of those guys would succeed. That entire 2016 class was terrible. Artie Burns, Ross Cockrell, Jordan Dangerfield, Sean Davis, Justin Gilbert, remember him? Robert Golden, Mike Mitchell again. And then 2017 was when we finally got Hayden.
Thank God for Hayden.
Thank God
I'll
for Hayden.
forever thank Hayden. I really will. My God.
Oh, God, that was terrible.
My
No, William
God.
Gay wasn't bad. He wasn't an outside guy.
No, he ain't no outside guy.
But he worked good in the slot. Big play, Will Gay. 5 pick sixes in his career. Was it 5?
5 or 6,
I think
something
he
like that.
tied Rod Woodson for most pick sixes in Steelers history. And his touchdown celebrations were top notch.
Mm-hmm. Him and Joey Porter.
Yup.
Oh, man, classic. Classic.
Good Lord Almighty. Gilbert was a bust. Yeah, he was a Browns first round pick. God Almighty. Yeah. Yeah, those are some tough times, man. Before we had Hayden, before we had Steven Nelson, before we had Cameron Sutton, before we had Mike Hilton.
Oh, let's even go back to a little, before those guys. Remember, well, I just literally had the guy's name in my freaking head. What the hell was his name? Oh, come on. Cortez Allen.
Cortez
Allen. There was although he wasn't horrible, but he wasn't really anything spectacular. Keenan Lewis.
Keenan Lewis was good.
He was solid, but nothing too spectacular.
He wasn't too spectacular, but he was the best we had at that point. Opposite of Taylor.
Yeah, there was why can't I think of the names? Like, I swear to God, any other time I would remember them. I
guess it's just good we don't remember them.
Yeah, you're right.
Because
there's a reason why I can't remember them.
Because that was years ago. And now that era's closed, and we're about to get a new era, man. New era completely. New quarterback coming up soon. New corner probably. We already got a new DC. Who the hell is going to be our next OC? Or O-line coach, actually. I don't know what's going to happen.
We'll see.
It's going to be an interesting offseason for the Pittsburgh Steelers, and we're going to have a lot more content coming out your way. Tomorrow, again, the TJ Watt video will be out where we discuss and talk about why he should finally become Defensive Player of the Year. And if he's not, it's a true crime. And unfortunately, he will never win it. And I don't know how that's possible. I just don't see how that's possible. But also, there'll be a video out at the end of the week where we will discuss positions that the Steelers must fix and must address. And then our next mock draft, our first official mock draft for the mock draft season, will be out next Wednesday. And then I think we'll do a mock every other week leading up to the draft, as well as some mock collabs and, of course, full first-round mock drafts in weeks between where we don't do Steelers mocks. And, of course, other news that come out and other videos coming out where we'll talk about who the Steelers should and shouldn't keep and who we sign and all this. It's going to be a fun offseason.
It's going to be a real fun offseason. So there's going to be a lot of content coming out on the channel for this entire process of free agency and the draft.
Yes, sir. Hopefully you guys stick with us, man. And definitely hit the like, hit the subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. And offseason is pretty much underway. Pretty much. I mean, for not entirely for the NFL, but Might as well be, because in 1 week's time, one team will be holding up a Lombardi. Will it be the Rams? Will it be the Bengals? Hopefully it's not the Bengals.
Hopefully it's the Rams.
Hopefully it's the Rams, because I'm definitely rooting for the Rams. Also, we will be live Saturday night, this upcoming Saturday night, with some guys from the Discord chat, where we'll be talking about the Super Bowl and predictions for the Super Bowl and all that stuff, as well as some extra Steelers talk, since it'll be a full little fun gathering like we do every year for the pre-Super Bowl talk. But anyway, guys, you guys have a great rest of your night, great rest of your week. Thanks for tuning in, as always, and we'll close it out with this Super Chat. S. Dresden with a $5 Super Chat says, but Thomas started his career as a DB coach. You're right, he did. When he was with the Bucks, I believe.
No, he was a DB coach for the Bucks, and he was defensive coordinator for the Vikings.
For the Vikings, correct.
And then he was a minority hire for the Steelers, and here he is still, 16 years later.
16 years later, not one losing season, all that cliche bullshit. 2 Super Bowl appearances. Hopefully we get another one before he runs out his time, but that's for future talks. But we'll see what the Steelers do to hopefully let that happen. Make that happen.
We'll see what happens for sure.
It'll be a fun offseason. We already know who the new DC is. Let's see who the next offensive line coach is. Hopefully it's Munchak. Fingers crossed, but I'm sure that's the next hole that the Steelers are going to fill, so it'll be interesting to see who they bring in, who they interview. A lot of news like that will be coming out very shortly, I'd imagine. So I'm very interested to see what the Steelers will do to address that as we head into a free agency period in a month's time. How about that? A lot of decisions to be made for the Steelers this offseason, so I think we're all excited. But anyway, you guys have a great rest of your night. Thanks for tuning in. See you guys later this week for some of the content, and Saturday night, of course. And, yeah, man, you guys have a great rest of your week.
Here we go, Steelers. Like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you later.
Peace!